You're listening to WZYE 95.9 FM. You are listening to WZYE 95.9 FM, the most influential name in Caribbean radio in the tri-state area. Broadcasting from East Orange, New Jersey, the most influential name in Caribbean radio. WZYE 95.9 FM. You're listening to WZYE 95.9 FM. You are listening to WZYE 95.9 FM, the most influential name in Caribbean radio in the tri-state area. Broadcasting from East Orange, New Jersey, the most influential name in Caribbean radio. WZYE 95.9 FM.
I can tell you you're going to love this presentation. Here we go with number 40, Henson Wright, Diary of a Madman.
Buster! I wish one of the cows them a tell lie plan me. Which one of the cows let me talk to him? Imagine being a man trying to live normal in a society crazier than me. Imagine there's no treatment from the ailment, which is total insanity. Now imagine say that sentence real full up, it have more mad people outside than in. People from the bottom right up to the top, like it's an asylum we're living in. People in office, people in control, to people who live in their own little worlds. We're trying to change our mistakes and faults by doing the same things to get new results. I see a madman who played all games with FIFA. Around the world they know him as Jack the Reaper, but today he's godfather to Trinidad. Not because we're dance, but because we're mad. And now that we have a new prime minister who needs a private jet, she's a frequent flyer, yet we condemn Patrick Manning, we treat him bad. Not because we're dance, but because we're mad. And just so one day voices start to tell me, no, I alone mad is the whole country. In the same vein, the voices explain, it makes no sense. I try to be sane. I had the madman look and the madman walk. It's only madness I just talk. I'm a madman eating out a garbage bin, where dopishness does make sense to him. Hey, Busha! Hey! Aloysius, Polyphemus, Blasphemous. Don't cost nobody first. Longshoreman. And I study in Woodford Square. I graduate there with a degree in Mardiology. Yet people who went UWI and foreign university coming back crazier than me. Go talk about our engineers struggling for years to solve the flood problems in TNT. With squatters building in swamps, some on riverbank getting compensated big money. Insurance and bank doing big business. No one regulated their wickedness. Poor people must now seek their own interests. And I decide to go in parliament just to piss. Cause a madman who refused McDonald's money. Say McDonald's making the country unhealthy. Yet Angus Tura money will love that bad. Not because we dance, but because we mad. We had an SOE just to root out ganja. Young members walk free because of a flawed law. We complaining that crime bad in Trinidad. Not because we're dance, it's because we mad. And just so one day voices start to tell me, no, I alone mad is the whole country. In the same vein, the voices explain, it makes no sense that I try to be sane. I had the madman look from a madman land. It's only madness I does understand. I'm a madman drifting further out to sea, and my partnership still makes sense to me. Hey, Busha! I'll always just polyphemus blasphemy. Don't cost nobody first. Long show, man! Hear this. Trinidadians, we're not thinking, cause we're still drinking and driving hard on the road. The Undertaker's making a killing, and we mobs always overload. Young fellas, they can't drop low. They're driving real slow when the traffic light is on green. As soon as it changes yellow, they pull the nitro. It's the most speed that you see. Swinging inside streets without no signal, stopping without indicating at all. If you try to warn them about the stunts, they're cussing up your mother behind and front. And this young girl crossing the road down in town, behaving like she's when he comes young. Moving real slow, mucking up real bad. It's not done, she done, it's just. And a youth man walk under a walk over. He feeling faster than a motorcar. A forklift come down for him up real sad. Not because he dances, because he man. And just so one day the voices that tell me, no, I alone, man. It's the whole country in the same vein. The voices explain, it makes no sense. I'm trying to be sane again. I had the madman look and the madman smell. From a distance, anyone could tell I'm a madman who always in the habit of using public officers' toilet. I'll always just only she must blast, she must go custom for the foot. Long show, man! Now is madness a perception or a reflection of my people's identity? My people in the police, my people as priests, my people in the judiciary, my people in the customs who are accustomed to bring in the drugs and the guns and drop them off in John and on the beat so my children have to pay the price. My people working in the hospitals, they're drawing big money for no care at all. My people in schools teaching our children. Trinidad, I'm sorry for them. It's my mad partner who tell me recently TNT one day go end up like Haiti, a Panji crack road suffering real bad. Not because we dance, but because we spend and spend till the oil money done, and nothing is coming back from our tourism. Who driving SUV but ride a box cat and don't know them mad, they believe the smart is just so one day the voices are tell. No, I alone mad in the whole country in the same vein. The voices explain, it makes no sense. I'm trying to be plain again. I have a madman spirit and a madman heart. My great-great-grandchildren have to pay for that. I'm a madman who destroyed Trinidad and not believing that I'm real mad. I'll always just polyphemus, blasphemous, don't touch nobody first. Suffering from photosynthesis. Thank you very much, Skinner Park.
Yes. Let me say a special hello to all the WZYE 95.9 FM listeners. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, it's in the village with the DAG Triplets on WZYE 95.9 FM. And we come to you every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday from 7 to 10 p.m. That's Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday from 7 to 10 p.m. And of course, it is tonight. Tonight, we will just be having. Let me bring in Tony here. Hey, E. Marshall, Tony Nisbet, the commissioner in Newark. How are you doing, Tommy?
Very good, very good. Happy to be in the village. It's always a pleasure being in the village. How are you doing today, sir?
Today's a fantabulous, splendiferous, marvelous, tremendous, splendacular day, Tommy.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, you know it is. Well, the Storm went to a concert. She had she had to flex a little bit, so she went to a nice little concert, and she's enjoying herself, of course.
Oh
A
yes.
concert at the Beacon Theater here in Manhattan.
Wow.
So yeah. She's having a fantabulous time. I can tell you. You know what I mean? And
Yes.
Gary should join us shortly. So we'll just mosey along as we continue looking at all the things that are happening in Trinidad and Tobago.
Boy, what a thing. Well, guess what? Karen getting the heat, boy. But guess what? I appreciate the fact that she's standing up.
Well, it's funny that you say that, Tommy, because I want to address certain thing with Karen Nunes Teixeira, because you see our people, boy, we don't like there's something about us where we put party before country. There's something about us, and it doesn't matter what party it is. It seems that we all have the same type of philosophy. We just in different parties. And tonight I want to try something, Tommy. I want to try to see if we can take some voice notes. So if you want, you can send your voice notes to 973-868-144. 1444. That's the WhatsApp number. Try to send your voice notes to 973-868-1444. We could also try to take calls to that same number. So what you can do is send your voice notes to that number. The number is also on the screen. It's kind of small, man. I had to make that number on the screen a little bigger. You know what I mean? But we go work with that for now. All we just do in the village here, we just be very flexible in the things that we do, and we try to do our best, of course. All right. So of course, Tommy, it's no difference today. Nadia was first, second, third, fourth, fifth. John Jarube, John, my UNC Lavanti friend, boy. John was fifth, sixth, seven, eight. Troy Smith, boy. Troy Smith, you're getting close enough, Troy. Troy was 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Takesha was 17, 18, 19. Troy again, 20. Takesha, 21. Lana come in mix there, boy. Lana. Joan again. Lana does start early, boy. Lana say, these new people who was hired at Wassa board from Petrochin, if they couldn't run and save Petrochin, or they could run and save Wassa. Oh God, this
Hey.
government is a joke. Oh, well, boy. A big boss from Petrochin hired to run Wassa, just how they run Petrochin.
In the ground.
Hey, Rennie Mohammed, you're inside. Hey, look, my partner come back, but well, I say my partner, my good friend, Hailey, boy. Hailey inside. Hailey's my pep friend, eh? Rolling America, bowling. My friend money, no problem. Oh God, like you get this all from short here.
You see
Rennie, good
Anderson.
evening to you.
You see Anderson was snizzing.
Yeah, my partner, and it's not a coming. Gary, my have you in too, boy?
Ooh, the storm.
Yeah, well,
No,
Kakiza, boy. What's the
Phantom.
story? Yes, Davis, Emily, boy, you're inside, boy. People inside early tonight, boy. Hey, Anderson, boy. Anderson, I know what kind of partner to call you now, boy. If it's my UNC partner, my PDP partner, let me know which one to call you. All right? When I call my partner Highly, my pep partner, he'll be get real happy, But he was vexing me the other day, He told me I was only asking what's she name again, boy? The chairman of the PEP told me. I was only asking she some questions that I ain't asking nothing about the plan she have for the country and all kind of thing. I thought I asked you all kind of question, but I leave you vexed to me, boy. Real vexed. You vexed. But yeah, Tommy, you was talking about Karen Nunes Teixeira, and
Yep.
you see, All right, let me start off the night with Karen Nunes Teixeira. I want all you to listen. To Karen Nunes Teixeira. Let me take a listen to Karen Nunes Teixeira. Take a listen, all right?
I think I speak with the sense of confidence on the topic because I was in there. I was in there, and I was in there at a very position as a Minister of Finance. And I had a very good relationship with the Prime Minister. One, because I guess my position being new, and he previously had about 4 ministers in the Ministry of Finance, and you just had myself and Mariano. And I think he believed that I did support his vision, strategic vision for Trinidad and Tobago. There's no question in my mind, you know, and I probably, is not, what the gentleman just said is about right. That thing about the red tape, I didn't put that up, you know. When I looked at the corruption perception index for the public sector, they gave these 6 factors that drive corruption in the corruption perception, and one of them was red tape. And you know, that just clicked to me. And yes, you're right, because where are all these unlicensed guns coming from? Why is there such a heavy crime? Let us not pretend that we don't understand. Yes, there's some domestic crime, but even among the domestic crime, many people are on drugs. You have to understand that a lot of the laws, and maybe I have this understanding because some of them were around when I was a minister, the Revenue Authority, they have diluted it completely. And because we don't have time to go into it. The gambling legislation, we should not have gambling in this country. We have too much money laundering. EU has blacklisted us. You saw they had a meeting in Barbados with Mia and the Prime Minister about de-risking and the bank, the correspondent bank. De-risking meaning taking you off completely. You see the Prime Minister has run off to Washington for 4 days to discuss that topic. This country is a corrupt country. And if people want to pretend that they do not.
Tommy, Gary, you hear what? This is the former Minister of Finance telling the people of Trinidad and Tobago that this country, Trinidad and Tobago, is a corrupt country. Is she accurate or is she blowing smoke?
She said she was inside. She said she was inside. So if she's inside, she's supposed to know something.
Go ahead, Gary.
She's calling it as it is, man. She's speaking truth to power.
Full 100.
It may feel you might feel a little offended because from an external looking from outside, that some people say you're making Trinidad look bad and it's like that. But sometimes it's just like you have to call it as they see it. In order to get something done, you cannot sweep the thing under the carpet. It is what it is.
Listen, man, I got enough love for her.
Listen, man, I ain't lying, eh? You see, Karen need to run for political office.
But then there are those who say that she has stains on her and blemishes and
that she only named Teixeira.
Because remember nobody wants to forgive her for the Clico quote unquote fiasco, whatever that was.
Yeah, but I hear you, Tommy, but she was never arrested.
She got a little tip and she pulled she money.
She was never charged. She was never indicted. So, I mean, if we are going to be speaking truth to power, she was never indicted for anything. Yeah. Right? You are innocent until proven guilty. She didn't charge with nothing.
You see, the FAB tells she drink water, mind she business, but is she business? Trinidad she business?
Yeah. I will come to them. I'll come into them.
Yeah, the FAB acting as though Trinidad is their business only.
Yeah. I'll come into them. Let me continue this.
Acting like Trinidad is their business only? FA who?
Tommy, tell them who it is.
FAB.
Now
I will tell you later what I mean.
All right. Hold on. Let me continue listening to Karen.
Understand that at the root of this corruption in this country is the transshipment of cocaine that is able to give people power to open up businesses, for the businesses to fail, for the...
Now let me ask you a question, eh? The small man, when does the small man get this opportunity in order that for them shipment coming in order for them to open business?
We're talking about the drugs?
But I wish you just say, yeah.
Talking about.
But you have to understand, like I tell you before, drugs coming in many forms and fashion, small man and big man pulling drugs.
But Gary, when the small man gets that opportunity, all of a sudden you have a big business. That's what Karen Nunes is talking about. When do we see that with the small man? The small man who would be one who would be going out there and selling it. When we just see that.
Well, let me tell you something. That small man have big ambition, you know. They don't underestimate them small man.
Yeah,
them have big ideas.
But small means.
You know, so you have small gangster that becomes big gangster, you know, like where that guy down
Where? In the United States?
A big gangster. You have a big gangster business.
You know,
huh?
in fact, we had several people who started out on the street, hustling at the taxi stand, and then all of a sudden kidnapping start, and then they get in this and that, and they own supermarket, and they own this now, you know, so, you know, all these things
are the small man?
Right under the nose of the TTPS.
That the small man?
Small man, move up in the world, bro.
All right, what small man is that?
Maybe in your tongue, Gary, but not in most tongues.
In my tongue?
I don't know. I just forgot.
No, I really don't know. I don't know.
So all you don't know how many small men move up the chain?
No, I don't know any. Me personally, I don't know any.
No, nobody in Laventille move up the chain?
No, I don't know any small man in Laventille open up a business.
No?
No, I don't know any.
Maybe they move out of Laventille and open the business?
Maybe.
I still don't know. I don't know. But Gary, if you know, tell me.
Man, listen, man, that's in the public domain.
But,
I want to
tell me, all right. So if people in the chat could tell me who Gary may be speaking about, because I don't know. I don't know this small man.
I hear, listen to me, I left Trinidad more than 40 years now, right? So
well, you're in the same boat too. I'm the same boat too.
Right, you told me all the way out here. So
yeah,
I hear some shocking stories.
Well, Anderson tell me. Anderson will send the chat. Anderson, tell me now. Karen Nunes say, when we think coming, all of some people are big business. I want to know a small man that they are open a big business all of a sudden. I don't know.
I went down to Canty, and it has some fellas about 18 to 21 years old driving $300,000 car. And they
that is not the point. That is not the point. Karen didn't say nothing about driving car.
Hey, hello, how they acquire that car? How they pay for that?
So they can't work and pay for the car.
Hello?
They can't work and pay for the car.
For a $300,000 and $400,000 car?
No, why not? What about if they have a CPEP, 10 CPEP contract?
The bank will get them a loan for that faster than a mortgage.
Correct. You getting car loan left, right, and center. You want carnival loan, you're getting that. You want car loan, you're getting that.
But I'll tell you, they wasn't selling doubles and making it. They were selling something else.
Gary. Across Trinidad and Tobago, all different types of people that sell it. All types of people in Trinidad and Tobago that sell it.
Me, I say no type. Who I calling about?
Gary,
yeah.
I went down Shogunas one time, boss. It's Shogunas or Cuba? One of them places, yeah? And boss, the amount of luxury car, I see a fella park up in the driveway and thing, I say, wait, Lamborghini, right? I mean, Mercedes-Benz, BMW, convertibles, but like 5 or 6 of them park up in one yard. I said, a partner take me down there. I said, boss, when you driving all them things.
No, wait a minute. That's a 40, 50-year-old man or a 21-year-old who just come out of school there?
No, I don't know. I don't know.
That is the vast difference. If a man work his way up and he's saving money, and it takes you some years to accomplish that, is something else.
But I don't understand. I don't understand what you're saying, seriously. You saying that if a man is driving a $300,000 car?
No, not a man. I'm talking about a young man between 18 to 21 years old.
But how you know how the man acquired his assets? You're making an assumption.
I am saying you've seen a lot of these things going on out there, and they have no way to show the income. That is why the government bring a lot of rules.
But Gary, it's a rich people in Trinidad and Tobago don't know where showing the income either.
That's why Faris said to declare your wealth.
But it's a rich people in Trinidad don't show the income either. Them should be showing the income. Them we should be going after.
No, there is generational wealth. You know, some people acquire something by living off their parents, and they acquired some wealth through their parents, and they build up themselves. That's a different thing.
Well, you know, a 21 to 25-year-old don't do that.
No, it takes you some time to get to that stage. You don't get that overnight.
Hey, fellas, Rajvi saying some profound things here in the chat. I guess I don't know where he get that, how he could verify what he's saying, but.
Let me take a look.
Let me see that.
Rajvi saying some things.
Oh, okay. Is she saying something we don't really know?
He's talking about UNC leaders by one thing. He's talking about the UNC.
Chris Watson say, okay. Go ahead, Tommy.
He said UNC does finance the drug trade in Trinidad. Fact 100. That's Rajvi saying that. Eh? And he goes on to say, UNC leaders like Bix and Bhagwan Singh are billionaire because of drugs. We gotta disclaim some of this stuff, you know.
Yeah, don't worry. I got plenty of disclaimer.
He goes on to say, he said, what was Sharon? He was a big drug man.
All right, let me continue to listen to okay, let me do some things in the chat here because it's going kind of quick. So Darren Legal says, welcome. She no different from current ministers in the PNM that they know corruption going on and sitting and saying nothing. Okay. Chris Watson says, so Anselm, in Manning time, when she was in the government, didn't they had a meeting for gang leaders? Yes, they did. And Manning called names, and she said that. Right?
Manning wasn't met with the gang leaders? What do you mean? He just calling?
And they call names. Trinidad full of import goods, but it really had to get a barrel from customs. All right.
Yeah, but listen to me. The gang leaders, they want to blame for certain things. And it's a bigger man than the gang leaders importing stuff too. Why they deal with them too?
Well, God, you know how to talk. You know how to talk. Them fellas in them, you don't see them fellas in them be on payroll and all kind of thing. Them fellas in them small in the means things.
Like I say, it takes a few, in a short period of time, a pirogue will come across from Venezuela and they bring what they had to bring. So it ain't a one category of person doing their thing. Big container is the big man handling that. The plane, whoever drugs come on the plane is the big man handler. The small man do anything too. The small man doing a little hustle. So don't fool yourself. The small man doing the thing there too.
So let me finish listening to this. Hold on. Let me finish listening to this.
Businesses to reopen, to have the politicians jump in at their call. The Procurement Act is a perfect example of the level of corruption in this country. And yes, it's deliberate. All the reports. I know I was inside there, and I can say no. I might be wrong, and I might be biased because I know somebody who I'm seeing to the right of me has said Mr. Manning was the worst prime minister Trinidad and Tobago ever had. I won't look at him, but he said that. But I will say, that unfortunately he did not have the opportunity to meet and work with him, because one of the things that he was, in my view, this is what I picked up. I think that he was now prime minister. I think he wanted to end. He wanted to come out. He wanted to go and preach or whatever he wanted to do, which that's a whole different issue. And I think he wanted to leave and deal with the drug trade. I'm telling you that. I'm not asking you that. I can't tell you the names that he called to me. I can't call the names to you. But if I tell you the names that he called to me, who are the big business in this country, you might be shocked. I'm not asking you if somebody told me that he told me. I'm telling you that he told me.
All you hear that? All you hear that? You hear that?
Okay.
Some of the big business in the country, Gary. Big business.
Okay. Big business.
They're involved in it. So
Okay.
just imagine if they're involved in it. They can get a little pipsqueak. They can go out any parts of the country and get a little pipsqueak and employ them. Because them fellas are no work. They are no work. They can't get work. People coming out of college with degrees and can't get work. You coming with a college degree from you and you can't get work.
Yeah, but the small man running the own thing too. And that's all they don't want to seem to admit. The small man running the own thing too.
But
They're just working for the big man. They're running their own hustle.
Yes, what you running is a small hustle. If it's a small man.
A parlor you running. A parlor.
Yeah, you do need LPH.
That's a parlor you running. It's a parlor you running. Let me continue.
I am telling you that when I was setting up the financial intelligence unit, I knew who wanted the job. I know what jobs they want. I'm not going to say what jobs they want. And I know who wants those jobs because those are the jobs that allow them to be able to get sensitive information. I'm just telling you that. And I told the Prime Minister, the person who I knew wanted the job, I said, he's not getting it, you know, because I know he wants it and he wants it for the wrong reason. We got the Americans to come in from Washington and met with me. And I said, get me ahead of the effort because the leadership, when you want to end a movement, Dr. Tuari, you don't go after the crowd. You go after the head. You go after JFK. You go after whoever is leading Martin Luther King. And then the movement disappears. So you go to the head.
Gary, you hear that? You hear that? You want to go for the little fella with the parlor. That's what you want to do, Gary. You want to go after the fella with the parlor. That doesn't make a dent in anything. Because after you get rid of that little fella with the parlor, some other little fella with another little parlor will come. And then another little fella with another little parlor will come. Because that fella see what that fella with that parlor was doing. Right? Now you will say, boy, I live in the little parlor. I could drive a $250,000 car. Right? I could live in wherever part of the country I want to live in. Right? But you'll let any big man pass. He passing. And he's spreading it wider and wider in Trinidad and Tobago. Before you can't control nothing.
And I am telling you, I said, I don't want a Trinidadian. I don't want a Caribbean person there because I don't want them heading up that FIU. And they.
You hear that? So you don't want nobody from the Caribbean in that. No Trinidadian. Why is that? Why is that? Think about that. Why? Why she don't want?
Now she talking.
No, but she said she didn't want it, Gary.
Yeah, but now she talking. That's the language I've been talking. When I was talking about the police force, I didn't want nobody inside the police force to be chief commissioner. There was a reason I didn't want somebody from inside the police force. Anyway, she along the same line. Go ahead.
They brought the Washington people to me, and we were looking at somebody from in Central America. You don't think he understood the Revenue Authority, what he was doing? We had people from the American DA assisting us, Customs Department, setting up the Revenue Authority to set up and to develop one number, one PIN number, because we understood that what Mr. Manning understood, and I understood that he understood that with the gambling. He understood that why you letting the drugs in, because you're leaving your no gate, a dog, no guard, no nothing. You let.
Gary, there are drug dogs in Trinidad?
If they have what?
Drug dogs, sniffer dogs.
I don't know. Supposed to by now.
Of course they do.
Supposed to now. Supposed to by now.
But Tony, I never came to the airport. I never came to Piaco Airport. and I see a drug sniffing dog. Almost every time I come to jail.
That's not where they apply them.
Nah, they had some of them in 2 legs, man.
Where they apply them?
In the cargo.
Tommy, every single time I have traveled from the Caribbean and come back to the United States of America, somehow I know them dogs might like to run them as they running dogs or
But
something.
that's the United States, Trinidad do things differently.
Them dogs always come in and take a sniff.
Well, there was a time it was more prevalent, but I find as of late it hasn't been as bad as it used to be.
I have never seen a sniffing dog in Trinidad, a drug sniffing dog. I'm not saying that there isn't any drug sniffing dog. I just have never seen one. Let me continue.
And sometimes the same people, which we have a national budget, and the 3 top items in our national budget are national security, health, and education.
Listen,
If you look
guys.
at Barbados, national security must be number 10. We're spending so much money on national security, and many of the private firms get the work.
You hear that, Gary?
Listening.
You hear that?
But you see, again, my problem is while you see we have a structure and a system that everybody is under restraint and have to go along and get along, and that type of structure has to change.
But Gary, Karen is so correct. In the last 2021 budget, right? Education and training get $6 billion, $6.886 billion. Health get $6.395 billion. National security get $5.664 billion. That is the top 3 when we talk about allocation in the budget. In 2021, education and training get $7.9 billion. Health get $6.050 billion. And national security get $5.27 billion. The only reduction between 2021 and 2022 in the top 3 was from education and training going from $7.9 billion to $6.8 billion. Health went from $6.050 billion to $6.395. And national security went from $5.27 to $5.664. Hey, Gary, what did you do with all that money, Gary? Hey, Gary? Talk to you now. Karen just absolutely correct.
Let's lock down the airport, so-called, right? So-called lock down the airport and the ports while the whole fence line open. Okay?
But Gary, look at all the problems we have in the Ministry of National Security. All the problems we have with health. The schools just open and they can't even get it right. And I'm going to address something with the schools and them fighting in schools. And I'm going to tell you something they're doing here in America. All of a sudden they want to go and put police now in schools. But let me continue with Karen University show.
But the police in the school is absolutely necessary.
No, it's not necessary.
But they have to
It is not necessary.
Yes. In this, you see the kind of fighting they're going on with them children?
Gary,
contain them.
What you want to do? You want to go and put the police with a gun in the school? I will tell you the solution. The solution is in this country in America. Same thing happened in one school. And after they did what they did, there wasn't a next fight for months in the school. They put a police in the school.
Man, I've driven past some schools up in Brooklyn over there. And it's like an army of police inside and outside the school. You ever drive by the Eastern High School?
Nah.
Up on Bushwick?
Nah. I don't see no in New Jersey here. I don't see police might be outside or in case police immediately can get there. But the police in school
in the situation that we're dealing with,
it makes no sense.
As you see, you need the police there to contain the situation.
So you know what, Gary? We need the police for everything. Put the police everywhere. That's a waste of precious services. The police need to go and look for the criminals.
And them children not afraid nobody, boy. You see them children afraid somebody. You see that when we used to fight in school, when the teacher reach, we stop.
I will discuss
All
the
fighting we
solutions
do
just
when the
now.
teacher reach, we stop. You see what going on there?
I will discuss
There
the
will be
solutions.
teacher and principal on one shot, bro. You don't seem to understand that you have to need the police there because these children, some of them could be armed, and you know you need to restrain them.
Gary, you see that type of policy you
No,
have
you're
in
not
there?
saying to throw them in jail, but you have to treat the situation. You have to deal with it.
Gary, police is not trained to be in schools.
And the police has to be, but we take it too damn. And Sam, the problem is we take it too damn long to act.
We wasting time with putting police in schools. Let me continue with Karen. Let me continue.
Look, you saw that whole scandal with the police commissioner with all those cars and all those contracts he broke. Allegedly, that was in the papers. I didn't say that, and I am telling you in no uncertain terms that at the root of our problem, and we will, because why haven't we been able to solve it? Why have we not been able to solve it? Because at the root of our problem, there are people who have power in this country that's set. I was approached 3 times. They realized, well, I don't take a bribe. I don't take a bribe. But
Hear that? Hear that? I mean, if she as a minister of finance was approached for a bribe, imagine that. Just imagine. We are corrupted society. Government come, government go.
The corruption, the place is becoming more corrupted and more corrupted. There is nothing new. That corruption going on a long time. There was corruption in the Eric Williams days too. They didn't have no Facebook and them to tell you nothing at them time.
Gary,
no social media.
Gary,
is that corruption right in America too?
Trinidad is a corrupted country.
Just like everywhere else in the world too.
No, that's not true. That's not true, Gary. That's absolutely not true. The corruption index will not bore you out to that, Gary. Absolutely not.
Let me tell you something. You think it has corruption here in America?
No, but Gary, there are some places many places in the world where corruption is very limited. Very limited.
There's corruption everywhere. The only thing is that when you get caught in America, you pay the piper. You don't get away with
it. You pay. You don't care if you're a minister, you're a senator, boy. Look what they do to the premier of the BVI. Look what they do to you. Is in America you get busted. America, they don't play them kind of games here in this country. But if you are highfalutin people in Trinidad and Tobago, right? They look the other way. Them sniffing dogs even coming by you. Them fellas even passing them sniffing dog by your suitcase. You see that suitcase? Leave that alone.
Well, let me tell you something.
Suitcase
you think the majority of the drugs coming through the airport? The majority of the drugs are coming through the airport. Some coming through the airport.
Well, guys, where they coming?
It will come where they coming?
We need to stop it. Because they could stop it if they want to.
Yeah, but it takes a certain amount of collaboration and commitment to do that.
They don't want to stop it. Let me continue.
They didn't come and ask. They didn't come in something big, you know. They came in something small to test me out, to see if I would think. But as soon as I tell me anything, I went to Mr. Manning. So they realized, don't tell her anything because she ran in and tell Mr. Manning. So I am telling you, I have no doubt those OPVs, the Revenue Authority, the gambling legislation, the FIU, the sort where you had to get polygraph testing and you had to get tested for drug testing. I have no doubt until you dealt with the root cause, you will never solve the problem of crime in this country. And by the way, my last little point is this. You know, we love to talk about the cockroaches and zesters and using as code Laventilla mover, which everybody knows what they mean by Laventilla mover. But I always say to people, if in fact this is a problem of a race, why isn't Tobago overrun with crime? Why isn't Moruga overrun with crime?
Hello? You hear what the woman say?
Yeah.
What do you say?
Yep.
Obviously, the people in the country different. They plant their garden, they eat their yam and their dasheen, and they feed their children. There's a different quality of people out there.
Oh, that's what it is.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with race. I tell you, there's a different quality of people out in the country. Ask Tommy.
Why isn't Point 14 overrun with crime? Why isn't Togo overrun with crime? Because those are rural communities, and they go to that urban community, which is already very, very easily taken advantage of, very vulnerable. And
you hear that? You hear that? Why they going to them communities?
Let me draw a reference. You see the 10 lady out in Maruga there with children? Who living in a one-bedroom little thing falling down? What's the quality of those people and their behavior compared to the people up in the north?
Gary, you hear what Karen University just said? In those depressed communities, right? They've been abused for years upon years by the PNM. They have abusive relationship with the PNM, right? The PNM continue to abuse them. They have to look for alternative means to survive.
And
survival.
And the alternative means they chose was to go and rob and kill people?
No.
You can't lump everybody into one basket.
Yeah, but that you know, Gary, I don't understand that, man.
Nobody's robbing everybody into one basket.
Gary, who was the number one drug dealer in Trinidad and Tobago history?
Different quality of
Gary, answer my question. Who was the number one drug dealer in the history of Trinidad and Tobago?
A guy from Piparo.
Gary, should we ban all people that look like them drug dealers and all of them bad?
Hello?
Who's the number one thief in Trinidad and Tobago?
The number one thief, I don't. You tell me.
Should we ban all people? Gary, let me ask you a question. New York
in comparison, I am seeing the people in the country, regardless of race, they are different quality of people compared to the people up in the urban areas.
Gary, I don't understand that.
I find their demeanor, their way. There's a lot of good qualities about
okay, Gary, why we don't have the same problem in Tobago?
We have seen a different quality of people in Tobago?
Oh, so the quality of people in Lavantil and environs is low quality.
Most of the
Roxborough and Tobago is similar? Gary, do you know Roxborough and Lavantil is similar? Do you know that? Do you know that? I could tell you that. Do you know that? I could tell you that. My father lives in Roxborough. I visit, every time I go try this, I stayed in Roxborough for summers. I could tell you, very depressed. Come on,
Tobago is a depressed place? You saying Tobago is a depressed place?
But you know, I just tell you what. Not all of Tobago, certain places in Tobago.
I think I switch device because I think I switched device. I switched device.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
They recruit and they sit down wherever they have to sit down. And they call the shots, and a lot of the legislation does private-public partnership. Which small businessman could ever apply to do a project unless the government says, "Listen, we're giving half of the project to the small businessman"? Why does it?
Listen to this. Only listen. I remember the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley, bring a platform and tell people, look at McKissick and McKissick. McKissick, a big engineering company here in the United States of America, a black firm. They're getting all kind of work with Port Authority of New York and New Jersey, all kind of work. We need to take an example of that. But that same fella didn't tell the people the way McKissick and McKissick get to where they are because there was a 20% set aside contracts for minority businesses. And that's how they get over there. And that's what Karen's saying to you, Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley. Why don't do that? Do it now, Dr. Rowley. Have testicular fortitude and do it now. Or do like what they do in South Africa. They have a program called the BEE program. Right? The Black Economic Empowerment Program. Only Google it and look it up. Look it up. Eh? Look.
The government insists on certain of their supporters, I'm talking about whether contractors or big businessmen, Why don't we look at their history to see if they have been successful in or their cost of run? I am giving you the real story. You see all the story, how it sounds nice and all the things you're supposed to do, and how it sounds lovely and all the philosophical thing. It sounds really, really, really nice. I'm telling you from the inside, and none of them going to do it. If you have an AG that had to recuse himself 46 times, how you could have him as Attorney General?
You hear that?
Did she just hit on Faris there?
Yeah, man, I recuse himself. Anytime you have to recuse yourself, you need to say there's a possible conflict of interest.
Both him and Siot Young had to recuse themselves consistently. Isn't that what we just hear?
Right? And that's okay. That's okay.
But
That's okay.
but all the corruption taking place, let me tell you straight out. None of them businessmen are coming and breaking in my house and rape my mother or my sister or my brother or kill them. They're doing their thing smoothly.
Anyway, good night, Albert, and Eugene too.
So maybe we should learn
Because
something
the recuse
to spend more.
means conflict of interest, and he sat down there and 46 recusals, and he was still sitting down there. How you have a Minister of Agriculture who tells you he's missing his family for 19 months, he's still not left, he's still here, and you have a lesser position than the new minister can fire him tomorrow morning. How you could have a prime minister who moved the minister of tourism in, and you know they never tell me anything because it is a fact. They could only sue me for defamation if it's not true. He moved him from housing, put him in tourism, then suddenly became the Minister of Housing for about 8 months. During that period, signed this what they call a framework agreement for the Chinese who had been blacklisted to build 5,000 houses with Chinese labor and pay them in US. And then pretend he didn't know about it until the Freedom of Information Act was forced, and then he claimed he didn't know. That is, there's no trust in this government, the AV drilling. How do you explain that your senior counsel, highly respected, is telling you go to court and challenge that thing? I had read judgments. Why won't you go? But you pay him 100 million. There's no trust in this government for good reason. And I am not playing the nice game about, no, it's all nice, it sounds nice, or that. That's the reality. And the reason why the country is hopeless, Dr. Tuwari, as you know, because both parties are seen as being corrupt. And they're...
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Now, plenty people ain't gonna like that. UNC people may not like that. And the PNM people ain't gonna like that. But I want to see, I will show the press release by the Women's League of the PNM, right? And now they're attacking Karen Mercy Share now, right? Before they only want to attack men, now they're attacking women. Let me continue to listen. We go get to the chat just now.
6 of one and half a dozen of the other. And what allows them to sustain their nonsense is because they use the race and the religion as a separator of two groups. But I am telling you from the inside, that is what is destroying our country. I'm not asking you, listeners, I'm telling you he called names. And when I see some of those names in the top position in this country, I am...
Oh, you hear that?
But did you catch on about what she said about not going to court with the Petrosian case and just paying off AV drilling?
Of course.
Okay, so that was the point I was making the other day, that when you were were talking about this thing, is that it never went to court. They settled with themselves. The government settled with itself.
Yeah, but the senior counsel is telling them to go to court. All right, let me continue.
Sure about my views of this government.
Well, hear that? Let me just go to the chat because I want to show you some things here. A lot of drugs and money move within. Hey, Albert Montano, good afternoon. When Manning was building the church for the lady, she was Minister of Finance and money was spending. Where was her integrity? Okay.
You see, this is what we had to change. This is what we had to change.
Lana said Karen go have to go to state witness program, state witness protection program now for talking that. Oh God, look. Because when she signed a non-disclosure deal, why she don't call names? No, I don't think she signed a non-disclosure. I don't think so. All have information, but don't talk.
Answer, but the thing about it is, you have to think about it. There is no protection. There's no proper protection, and the simple complaint about you going to complain about anything, there is no resolution to it. You're not getting anywhere. Is you're going to the police station, somebody knows somebody, and somebody linked to somebody, and there's a backlash. So you can't. The people is kind of boxed into a corner. They're really boxed in.
Right, so we're going to go for a quick station identification. It's in the village to the DAG Triplets on WZYE 95.9 FM. And when we come back, we're supposed to have MP Khadijah Ameen coming up. We want to address the letter to Karen Nunes Teixeira from the PNM Women's League. We'll talk about that when we come back.
You're listening to WZYE 95.9 FM. You are listening to WZYE 95.9 FM, the most influential name in Caribbean radio in the tri-state area. Broadcasting from East Orange, New Jersey, the most influential name in Caribbean radio. WZYE 95.9 FM.
DAG Triplets on WZYE 95.9 FM. We want to show you this letter here. Let me find this letter. Oh, here it is.
Is Diana joining us later?
I'm sure if Diana joining us, because Diana is at a concert.
Okay.
I want to, this is the People's National Women's League responding to Karen. No Karen. The chairman is Honorable Camille Robinson Regis.
Obviously.
The public relations officer is Gary Friend, Lisa Morris Julian. The secretary is one of Gary Friends too, Sharon Felix. And the assistant secretary is Mrs. Sharon Archie. I wonder if that's Chief Justice wife boy. Because you have Sharon Rowley first name. So for immediate release, no Karen. Right? Hold on. Hypocrisy is a form of cognitive dissonance created when a person freely chooses to promote a behavior which they do not themselves practice. Selective memory, on the other hand, is the tendency to remember only one wants to recall. And the PNM does this very well. They only recall what they want to recall. But they upset Karen Nunes Teixeira now because she's speaking truth to power, right? And they don't want people like that to talk, because she was inside the belly of the beast. And she knows, so she could talk. Talk, Karen, talk. Having read the latest rant, or they call it a rant, by former Minister of Finance, Karen Nunes Teixeira, the National Women's League of the PNM is firmly convinced she suffers from hypocrisy and selective memory. The League wishes to edify Mrs. Nunes Teixeira that a brief, and listen to this, anytime, let me get here. Anyway, I'll get back to that. That her brief and unremarkable stint as finance minister does not qualify her as an expert in either financing or criminology, and definitely not in party politics. Listen, I will put Karen Nunes Teixeira up against any one of them in this women leagues, and she will fry all you. She will eat all you like Sunday breakfast. Karen Nunes Teixeira. Look. Let me continue. The League knows the vitriolic accusation hurled against the government without any substantive factual evidence. She had no evidence, well? The League is also aware that a clearly narcissistic and similar bitter former finance minister has been making the rounds on various media platforms with an obnoxious campaign geared towards undermining the government. The government doing that for itself. Karen Nunes Teixeira had to do that. And we go get just now earlier to the press release by Watson Duca. We get into that too. So we digging deep, but we're going below the surface tonight. We'll get to that one too. I'm going to deal with the media in Trinidad and Tobago. The National Women's League look like the mediocre, feckless. I think that might be. Anyhow, that's what they have, so I'll leave it at that. Feckless, maybe reckless. Madam, to be honest, and let the citizens know exactly what's the real reason behind a vacuous pontifications. It's and here they go now. Here they go now. This is how there's always data. This is your playbook. But that playbook is outdated. PNM, the Women's League, all of this playbook is outdated, boy. We throw that playbook out the window. Here they go. Is Mrs. Nunes to share a backbone member of another political organization? And what if she is? What's wrong if she's a member of another political organization? What's wrong with that? What about if she's not a member of another political organization? All you know that? All you know that? So all being very deceitful. And recent shenanigans, public auditions, and what's wrong with that? So wait now. So she had to be a PNM till she dead? She had to be that? She had to be a PNM till she dead like all you? If so, then tell the public and desist from masquerading as though she has TNT best interest at that. So wait now. She had to come to the PNM Women's League and say, Mrs. Regis Robinson, I want to tell you what party I belong to or what party I don't belong to, or that I'm not affiliated with any party, because always chief bottle wash and cook in Trinidad and Tobago. So we had to get the permission from all you if we want to be a member of another party. Look, let me continue. Whilst the league agrees that corruption and crime should always be, but wait now, they agree with she? I thought they said they didn't agree with she. I thought she narcissistic and she telling them truth. But what is this? While the league agrees that corruption and crime should always be a major concern, it will not support the haranguing of our political leader and Prime Minister. This is it. I'm sorry. Who has stood the principle against corruption, something Ms. Nunes Teixeira knows nothing about. The league also denounces the conquest attack against the brilliant finance minister Collingwood made by Ms. Nunes Teixeira. The citizenry, we are certain, has not forgotten Ms. Nunes Teixeira's public record on her contempt to hoodwink the population. A Trinidad Guardian article dated April 20, 2015 noted that then Integrity Commissioner Register Martin Farr was of the view that Ms. Nunes Teixeira had a conflict of interest which she was required to disclose, and that she should have recused herself from any role in the decision-making process with regards to the financial assistance to the CL Financial Group. Was she ever convicted of anything? You see how them is hypocrite? Them call him Karen who said to a hypocrite. And look how them are hypocrites. All you exposing all yourself, boy. All you showing, all your petticoat showing, PNM Women's League, all your petticoat showing, and it's not where all your petticoat showing, all you exposing all yourself. Let me continue. At the time, Ms. Nunes Teixeira owned 10,400 sort of CL Financial shares that she inherited from a deceased husband, Russell, who was a top salesman for Clico, an insurance subsidiary of the group. Section 29 of the Act, which defines conflict of interest, all of a sudden, there is you know, right? Them people is serious, you know. The woman has never been convicted of anything, but here comes the PNM Women's League trying to convict the woman. Karen, stand your ground. Stay your ground, Karen. And I know you can handle them. I wasn't defending you nothing, but I'm going to continue. Section 29 of the Act, which defines conflict of interest, state that it applies to persons in public life who participate in making a decision, who know or ought reasonably to have known that in making the decision, there is an opportunity either directly or indirectly to further his/her private interest or that of a member of his family or any other person. Ms. Nunes Teixeira should well remember how her actions regarding the Clico matter brought disgrace to the PNM. The National Women Leagues of the People National Movement records a statement then it was just a coincidence that she and her sister broke their fixed deposit at Clico prior to the government bailout. The league asks, and you see all the asking question, I want all to answer the same question that Watson Duke asked the Prime Minister. So Women's League, all the asking question now, I want all to answer the Watson Duke question now to the Prime Minister on money laundering in Trinidad and Tobago. I hope all to answer that. So here the league asks, is it a coincidence that these persistent, relentless attacks against Prime Minister Dr. Rowley and Faisal Wari made the opposition anti-government propaganda? I don't know how the hell the opposition come into this, but that's the PNM playbook. Blame the opposition for everything. The woman didn't say nothing about the opposition, but they will come with that tired, outdated playbook. The league will strongly suggest that the lady drink water and mind she business. Always to drink water, take bamboo, eat jelly, and mind all the business too. That is the Women's League. Boy. So that is it right there, fellas.
Any sight of MP Ameen?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Let's see. But let me go quickly to the next one now. Oh, she's here. All right. So let me bring her in. Hello, Mr. Ameen. Mrs. Ameen.
Good evening.
Welcome to Indie Village with the DAG Triplets on WZYE 95.9 FM.
Good evening, Miss Ameen.
How are you doing?
And it's my pleasure to join you guys once again.
How are you doing today?
So I'm good, and I'm happy to be joining you guys from Trinidad.
Okay.
So hoping to catch you up to speed with some of the things that we have been facing.
Well, where do you want to start, MP? Because I mean, there's so much going on in Trinidad, right? And every day seems to be something new. Has the Prime Minister returned to the country as yet, or he's still in Washington? If you know. I think she's frozen. Are you hearing us? She's frozen. She's frozen. Are you hearing us? Let me remove she and bring she back.
I am hearing you well.
You hearing us now?
I am hearing you well.
Okay, all right, good. You're frozen there a little bit. That's frozen a little bit. Right. So the thing about I was just asking the question, is the Prime Minister back in Trinidad and Tobago as yet? I know he was in Washington for a few days. Has he returned to the country?
Wait,
she's frozen again for some reason.
Yeah, she's frozen again. All right, let me remove she and then bring she back. She got to join us again.
Don't ask about the Prime Minister. She wouldn't freeze.
This is it. Yeah. Are you hearing us now?
I
Yeah, it was frozen there a little bit.
Are you hearing?
Are you hearing? Nah, she's still frozen. Let's see.
am hearing you fine.
But we're not hearing you.
Yeah,
we weren't.
All right. She gotta come back in because we're not hearing her. So she will come back. As soon as she come back, we put in. So you see, people talk about being hypocrite, right? They have questions for Karen Nunez Teixeira, right? Hey, nothing wrong with that. It's a free country. It's a democracy. You have the right to ask questions. That's what it's about. But let me just get to a few things here in the chat before. Hey, Eugene Julian, welcome. Lana says the big fish in control, a small man is just bait for jail time, while the big fish outside feeding on others to recruit. Correct is right. Yeah, the same big fish financing the parties. Or Chris Watson said he saw a few dogs in the airport. That's a good thing.
Or maybe they're finally utilizing it. We don't know.
Yeah, he said he saw a few in the airport. Lana said them they use dogs at the airport is when they get a tip off.
So it's not a proactive strategy; it's a reactive strategy.
Albert Montano say, yeah, they have put them out looking for food. Albert say they have put them in the airport. All right, Chris. Or they say if they put, well, people travel with food. Okay, I know when we come back to this place, boy. Chris Watson said the reason why they have so much trouble in school is because them people there was no studying. It was on social media giving trouble. Rajvi say, do you want to solve the job problem? I know who. Who is that, Rajvi boy? Albert Montano, full 100. You know what Albert Montano says, Gary? There should be no police in school in Trinidad. Absolutely.
Well, I have to disagree with him, and he needs to take a closer look at what's happening. This is not his time.
Gary, let me tell you what. In this country, there was a big fight in a school, right? I'm going to bring back, could you hear me? There was a big fight in a school. And you know what they did? The fathers got together. And the fathers decided they were going to patrol the schools every day. They take shifts and patrol the school. And Gary, since they start patrolling the school, there has not been one fight in the school. Not one. Not one fight.
But until we can get to that place, I still say we need the police because some of these kids are armed in the school and the teachers are very scared.
Police in schools.
We need the police there. And we need, and we should have already had the police trained because they need special training to do with these kids. Are you hearing us now, sis?
Yes, I'm here with you.
Are you hearing us, Khadijah? Okay, all right.
Yes,
Thank you so much. Yeah, well, somebody say, I asked you if you know where the Prime Minister is and your phone cut off just so.
Well, I don't know if it makes a difference if the Prime Minister is in Trinidad physically or not. I mean, the man traveled to New York to join a virtual meeting in New York. I don't know that the internet in Trinidad is so bad that he has to go to another country to join a virtual meeting. You know, but
so
she's freezing.
MP.
Yeah,
she froze. She froze. That's why he had to go to New York.
Yeah, boy. The internet, boy. Oh God.
Oh boy. Internet.
So, folks, we experiencing some technical difficulties with the internet. Mrs. Ameen look like
you want to do this on WhatsApp or something? Kind of let's talk on the phone then. I don't know. That's gonna happen.
Another calling. Tell her, ask if she want to call now, Gary. Because
no, you go ahead and call her. Go ahead and call her, or she has to call you.
Yeah, let's have her call me, and I'll pick up the phone because that stuff just sticking. Tropic says, Lana says, Friday, a child stabbed up another child at Eldo Blue School. There should be no police in school in Trinidad and Tobago. Police are not trained to deal with that. That's not police job. The vast amount of money is spent on salaries and other recurrent expenditure. Waste baked in. Highly. Yesterday, one student stabbed another. Attempted murder, should go to jail for life. I don't know what sending a kid to jail for life is going to do, but them children fighting with teachers, principals, security, parents, etc. Children not using the internet to chat, but to give trouble. Yeah, we just don't seem to have solutions in Trinidad and Tobago. Okay, here she is. Yes, she is.
You got it?
Yeah, hello?
Okay.
Are you hearing me? Hi, Miss Ameen, are you hearing me?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
How are you doing?
I'm good.
Yeah, I think what happened is that the internet was freezing somewhat, so it'd be easier if we just do it via a call. So yeah, we were talking, right? When we look at the issues, the things that are happening in Trinidad, right? We see school children fighting on a daily basis, right? We see that there was a report came out with respect to what caused the blackout. But by the way, what's your party take on the cause of the blackout? That it was some type of tree or something?
Well, yesterday, Friday, in Parliament, the Minister of Public Utilities read to the Parliament and to the nation a report that basically said termites attacked a tree. The tree was rotten and it fell, and therefore we had a blackout. The entire country had a blackout because a tree fell. Essentially that is what it was. And we asked ourselves, is that really an acceptable reason or excuse? And we also have to look at the lethargy in terms of the response from the government agencies and the response of the minister when he was asked by the media a few days after the event whether he could guarantee that such a thing could not happen again. And the fact that he could not give a guarantee is one. You can be either here or there on that. But his attitude when he responded, it was a joke, it was a laugh. And I think they have been approaching governance with this kind of laid-back attitude that has things working on autopilot in a lot of cases, and in a lot of cases just not working. So if you want to believe that a 24-hour blackout caused by a tree that fell was not a preventable incident, then you are burying your heads in the sand. We cannot accept the danger that many were in, particularly those who are dependent on medical equipment, security equipment that would have gone without power, and therefore we did have a number of fires that night in St. Augustine constituency. We lost 2 young women in Kirap in a house fire, and there's no footage to show what happened that night. And all the repercussions and the fear and anxiety that people lived in, and to have that level of indifference from the person in charge, it speaks volumes.
So, Ms. Ameen, what is your take on putting police in schools? What is your party position on that?
Well, I will tell you first as a parent, and then as a politician. As a parent, I have a teenage son in secondary school, and I know that secondary schools are terribly understaffed, not only in terms of teachers, but in terms of their guidance counselors. I was part of a joint select a couple of years ago that produced a report concerning issues in secondary schools. And one of the findings was that the ratio of guidance counselors to students was perhaps about 50 times more than it should be ideally. So that whereas you should have one guidance counselor for 300 students, I believe the ratio was, you now have one guidance counselor servicing 2 and 3 schools with populations of 600 plus. So the interventions that are required where discipline on a whole is concerned and where violence is concerned, there are indicators even before a fight takes place in terms of children who have trouble at home. And I will give you an example. A child who has been bullying students, other children will know about it. It starts with small incidents. If those incidents are treated, you could in fact identify in the perpetrator a problem at home. There may be domestic violence, there may be an ill parent, there may be other psychological issues that a child is battling with that causes him to be a bully in school. So before it reaches to where one of his victims has to pull a knife to defend themselves, the school treats with it because there's a system with deans and guidance counselors. The schools have not been able to do that kind of treatment with students to deal with root causes. In schools, the guidance counselor knows that when a child is habitually late, there should be an intervention because it could be an indication of something wrong in the home. When a child's marks in their subjects, the percentages in their assessment is below a certain amount, there should be an intervention. There are other indicators. Now, I'm not a professional, I am only a parent. But there are indicators that would allow guidance counselors to intervene. A child is habitually late, they can even visit the home, talk to the parents at home, see the atmosphere that the child is in. There may be issues in the home. And you have to identify these things early and treat with them early up to prevent the outbreak. What you are seeing now is the result of, I think, a few years of neglect of attending to students on that one-on-one level. So it has escalated to the point where some of these students who are picking up weapons would have been victims in the past, and what you're seeing is reprisal. Some of these students have been going through issues at home or in school, and what is happening now is a symptom, but you have to really deal with the issue. And I think the government has been failing to do that. The idea of putting police in schools, to me, it is a plaster for a wound that you have not treated the source of. And while I agree that the police will cause a reduction, I expect that the police presence in schools will cause a reduction in the violent activity. That does not treat with the root cause of the problem. And it also means that there are learning issues. There are many teachers who are afraid to go to class because of the activity and the indiscipline in the classrooms. There are teachers who are afraid for their lives. But what happens when the police goes there? You will find there will be order. But are those children going to be absorbing what is taught? Are those children who come from problems? There are many, many children whose parents lost their jobs. And children themselves are hustling to earn $1 to go to school. Their minds are elsewhere. Are those children who have issues going to be able to focus and learn? Are those children who cannot afford food and who are not getting meals on the school feeding program? Are they going to be nourished enough for their brain to absorb what is being taught? So you have to the point of going to school is to learn. The discipline and so on, that is part of it. So while I know the police officers will have a task on their hands, it is not the police officers' responsibility to deal with learning disorders, to deal with discipline, to deal with domestic violence at home, to deal with homes who are facing so many social struggles that they could barely feed themselves. That is not the job of the police. And the government has to take a holistic approach to violence in schools. And I think they have been failing to do that. They have been failing to assess children in schools who learn differently and giving them the resources to be able to advance in their schoolwork. They have been failing to provide the skills training that would allow children who are not academically inclined to have a full career outside of the academics. They have been failing to treat with the counseling of students who are troubled. There are students who have lost their relatives, their parents to murder and violence in this country. There are children who have not lost family members, but who witness it happening because it happens on the street. Blood flows on the street. And as a child, to have such a traumatic encounter, such a traumatic incident as a things that our students are grappling with. So I think we have to take a different approach. Having the big stick is one thing, but let's talk prevention. Let's talk the root of the problem.
Yeah, I just think that there was an incident in a school here in the United States of America, a big incident. There was massive fighting in the school, and some of the dads got together and they decided that they were gonna do a patrol in the schools 5 days a week. And after the dads taking turns, of course, after the dads start patrolling the schools, there was zero fighting in the school, zero. Because the kids, when they see their fathers, it's a different story. And that right there, there was no more. It was done. And I just think that, are these police gonna have guns, those big machine guns that they walk about with? That's kind of scary, man, to me. Okay, yeah, that's kind of scary. So now, Miss Ameen, I haven't heard anything from the opposition on this issue, right? There's a big issue. Say that again. Are you hearing me? Hello?
Yes, yes.
There's a big issue percolating in Trinidad and Tobago. It also has to do that the Prime Minister is now in Washington and he was summoned to Barbados. But there was a op-ed piece by the political leader of the Progressive Democratic Patriots. And the headline stated, "A zero stance on money laundering and funding of terrorism." Is this really the leadership we deserve in Trinidad and Tobago? And this has been all over the news. This op-ed piece have not been all over the news, but the response by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs have been all over the news. And I am somewhat surprised that the opposition have made a statement on a serious issue like that. And secondly, that the media has not published an op-ed piece, but have only published information from the response from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs.
Well, I myself have not seen that reported in our local media and our local news. I will check and date, but I know that we had, when Kamla Prasad Bisesa was in government, I was not a minister, I was not part of the cabinet, I was the chairman of a regional corporation. But in my awareness, the approach in terms of meeting international standards where money laundering and even terrorist financing was concerned, was a thing that was a part of the agenda of the government in terms of meeting the international requirements. So a lot of groundwork would have gone into signing agreements and policies, making policies and so on. But that is something that has to be continuously updated. And of course, every government will come forward to say that they will stand against terrorist financing and so on. But if we have to look at the associates of some of these government ministers and the associates of top party officials of the PNM party, you really encounter some really questionable characters. So one would really have to doubt where the national agenda and the party agenda would meet if you see the presence of certain characters around them. Now, that does not mean, because no member of the government has been named in any such activity, but in the minds of the citizen, it creates doubt in terms of how trustworthy these people are if they say they are going to clamp down on money laundering. If you are going to clamp down on money laundering and your friend is AB Drilling and he has been accused of providing fake oil, providing no oil, collecting millions of dollars for no oil provided, and you continue to be friends with him, he continues to finance your candidates and your campaign, then one would question how trustworthy you are when you say you are going to deal with money laundering and, crime that, those type of criminal activities. So when you talk about white collar crime and you say that you're going to clamp down on it, we have to see it in practice, and we have to, apart from the international agreements you will sign and the laws that you will bring to Parliament and what you will say on your platform, you will say everything that's politically correct, but your action speaks very different.
We see that former Minister of Finance Karen Nunes Teixeira was attacked by the PNM Women's League with regard to the statement that she made about the current government, and I find it sort of unbecoming that they were asking her questions, but when the PDP leader talked about zero tolerance in money laundering and funding terrorism, and there was questions asked to the government, especially the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, he or they refused to answer those questions, but they want Karen Nunes Teixeira to answer questions of them. How hypocritical are they?
Well, let me tell you, the thing is, the government has been taking that approach to attack and blame whistleblowers, to attack and blame any person who is opposed to them. When Kamla Persad-Bissessar exposed the fact that they were spying on citizens, they asked Kamla to bring the evidence. When Keith Rowley brought a fake email to Parliament and accused a sitting Prime Minister of conspiracy to murder, did he bring evidence? He didn't bring evidence. The police, in fact, the Prime Minister, when you have in the public domain, the government has the responsibility.
So, folks, it's the internet, okay? But she's still there.
You come forward with any information against the government, they attack you. What Mrs. Teixeira has been speaking about, it was not something that was secret, because Patrick Manning, when he was Prime Minister, spoke about the big fish and the community leaders and the criminal network. He spoke about those things. So I do not doubt that he would have called names, because he would have met with some of those people publicly as well. You remember the Crown Plaza meeting of community leaders, met with gang leaders with the view of making peace in communities and so on. He had made his outreach public, his outreach to those in the criminal underworld very public. So in order to do that, he must have had names. So the thing is, Mrs. Teixeira was a part of the PNM. All of them were one party, but now that she has said something that doesn't sit right with them, they choose to attack her. They always choose to attack the messenger. What about the message? The PNM has questions to answer about their affiliation with the criminal element in the country, and they must, and that is the issue. Whether Karen Nunes Teixeira or somebody else is the messenger, that is the issue. Can the PNM say that it has no knowledge of who the big fishes are in the criminal world in this country? Can they say, because they have been saying on the platform, when Faris Alwari as Attorney General wanted to pass anti-gang legislation, they came to the Parliament and said they have names and addresses of persons and they need the anti-gang legislation to arrest them. The opposition supported the legislation, and 2 years and counting, they have not arrested anybody. So if you have the information, if you know these people, the question for the government is, why have you not arrested these people? Why have you not cracked down on these criminals? Not whether Karen Nunez Teixeira or somebody else it reveals the information, but it is very relevant information, because at a time when the number of murders every day is just going out of control, the violence in society, the issue of Trinidad and Tobago as a transshipment point for drugs and guns from the South Americas to North America, the issue of immigrants coming into the country. All of these things are tied in, and the question is, do the people in authority, whether it is in the government, in the police, or wherever, those in authority, how much information do they have about these big fishes? Are they protecting them, or are they truly doing all that is required to bring them to justice? That is what the PNM has to answer.
You know, I looked at the budget for 2021-22 and the allocation for national security of 5.664 billion, right? And I asked myself, it was the third highest in 21-22. And I asked myself, you know, I mean, is that money being truly spent to deal with the crime problem in Trinidad and Tobago? I mean, when they have the third highest allocation of any budget, and I'm just asking myself if, or maybe, or just maybe, the current acting COP is not the right person for the job. You know, I'm trying to figure out, you know, when are we, and I'm saying we, right? When are we going to fix the crime problem that we have in Trinidad and Tobago?
Well, if you recall, Gary Griffith revealed recently that when he was Commissioner of Police, the government approached him with a sum that will be allocated to the National Police, the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, for the police to spy on members of the opposition and to gather any kind of evidence they could to link them to some type of wrongdoing. And it was a wild goose chase, but that is what they wish to spend the money on. So when you see money go to national security, you have to drill down a little further to see where it is being spent. If the political directorate instructs that the resources that go to national security is going towards persecution of their political opponents, then it is not going to fighting crime. If the PNM continues to break for their own members who are named in criminal activities, who are suspected, and not only the members of government, but their associates and their friends and financiers who are involved in wrongdoing, and you do not have the police getting the autonomy to really investigate without political consequences, then there is an issue. So the money is where the money going. And we have seen, based on the revelations of the former Commissioner of Police, where they have been using the public funds to persecute their opponents, the opposition. We have also seen where there were instances of wrongdoing by their own members that was worthy of investigation by the police, and it suddenly disappears. So again, we have have political reach. So when you have the police having to bricks for themselves, are they going to do an honest job in terms of a fair job in terms of investigating? If the investigation reveals wrongdoing on the part of a government minister or a PNM supporter, are they going to fairly put forward their findings, or are they going to have an element of fear and intimidation? And Fitzgerald Hines is a very incompetent Minister of National Security. He has, in a number of instances in the past, spoken with such disdain and contempt against anybody who even supports the opposition. He threatened to cut off a little boy's hand, a little Rasta boy, because he kissed the Prime Minister, then Kamla Prasad Bisesa. A child, he threatened to cut off a child's hand for kissing the Prime Minister. That is the level of contempt that we see from Fitzgerald Hines, and that is the Minister of National Security. So let that inform you of what the national security apparatus in his hands could be used for.
No, Mr. Ameen, I'm from an outside looking in, right? There is a perception in Trinidad that the people of Trinidad don't want the PNM, but somehow the UNC is not an option. What do you say about that?
There are elements in the politics who continue to say that, and I think there are a lot of PNM people who are pushing that because they recognize that the PNM is losing favor. So the truth is that I always tell people, when you vote for a government, you vote for yourself. You vote for your children to get laptops. You vote for your roads to be repaired. You vote for your hospitals to be functioning, for people to be able to get proper health care and surgeries. You vote for food prices to be reasonable and the cost of living in general to be affordable. You vote so that people could have jobs, not you alone, but those around you in your community. Do you want to have unemployed young people just with nothing to do, or do you want productive fellow citizens? So when you vote for yourself. You don't vote, forget PNM. If you want to forget PNM, UNC, all the other letters of the alphabet that form political parties, if nothing else, you vote for yourself. And then you examine the performance of both governments side by side. There's enough information to guide you as to where to vote. And the PNM has been using race a lot. I'm on the East-West corridor, and what I realized as a mixed race person, I have been able to see underhand and nasty way, in that when they campaign, they do not campaign based on performance. They starve people of resources, and then in the last year before election, they do giveaways and they patronize people. That's one. And secondly, they use the race card. So it's always we and them. And they create a fear in people of African and mixed descent of them Indian and that Indian party. And I always remember I was very young. I was probably about 19 or 20 in one of my earliest campaigns. In Aruka North, we had two candidates. The UNC's candidate was Richard Thomas, a man of African descent. And the PNM's candidate was Jarrett Narain. And we went to an area called Sherwood Park, where we had a meeting on a basketball court. And some PNM supporters passing by was shouting at us, "We don't want no Indian here, boy. We don't want no Indian up here." And their candidate was Jarrett Narain, and they were voting for him. And the irony of that stuck with me as a young mixed-race woman. I was practically a teenager joining the political fray, because that is the level of, it's just totally illogical. Racism has no place when it comes to feeding your child. Racism has no place when it comes to educating the next generation. And so we have a duty now to clear that mentality from the next generation of voters. But I can tell you that while there was a generation of people who would say, "I'm PNM till I'm dead," that generation's children are now thinking differently and thinking for themselves. And I think they can discern better. But you still have that residual contempt coming out of the racism. And it is a really unjust thing, and really unjust thing that they have done to people, to human beings, to create that fear of each other. But thankfully in our country, we have not had violence because along racial lines and along the political lines. But if you continue telling people that if a child kissed the prime minister, you should chop off his hand. If you continue it, I will change your waist, I'll change your face and all over your patent place on the platform speaking to the political leader of the UNC, then you are breeding violence. And Keith Rowley has been notorious for his violent language, and members of his government also follow suit. So when we think about violence in our society and violence, even our school children, we have to think about the leadership level. But certainly, I always tell people, I belong to a political party, but when you are going to vote, vote for yourself.
So Mrs. Ameen, you said something about race, right? There are many people in Trinidad and Tobago who will tell you that both parties divide people by race in Trinidad and Tobago. It is not just a PNM thing, but it's also a UNC thing as far as dividing people by race. What do you say about that?
Well, I have been in the UNC, and I have seen people who are stalwarts, who are integral parts of the UNC, who are of different races and religions. The foundation of the UNC was, Bastille Pandey would have been the leader of the sugar workers, and there would have been a majority East Indian. But certainly, along the way, you had so many people of different races. Even now, today, is the UNC an Indian party when you have Kamla Prasad Bisesa as leader, deputy political leader Jolene John, David Lee, you have myself, you have so many others who are at the forefront who are not of East Indian descent. In every government under the UNC, under Kamla Prasad Bisesa as well as under Mr. Pandey, you had proportional, I think the governments were proportionally representative of the population in terms of race, religion, background. You don't see you don't see that in the PNM. The PNM would have persons of East Indian descent, and I think they kind of use these people as poster children, unfortunately, just to say, that they have people of East Indian descent.
But they could say the same thing for the UNC too, though. And Miss Ameen, to be honest with you, when I look at the PNM and I looked at the top 7 cabinet positions in the PNM from a minister standpoint, many people will say otherwise. We had Stuart Young as Minister of National Security. We have Colin Burt as Minister of Finance. We have Terence Diyal Singh as Minister of Health. We have Ron Sinahan as Minister of Works. That was before Fitzgerald Hines became Minister of National Security. We had Franklin Khan as Minister of Energy.
I wonder if you're okay, and you are doing what a typical
Did we lose her again?
It's in your policy, it's in your campaign. When you go on a platform and you talk about the Calcutta ship, West Corridor, and you tell people while you're on the ground, don't vote for them Indian people. Those are
It's reconnected.
Of lack of racism. The racism, but it happens on the ground and on the field and in your policies. And to that extent, the PNF have been damaging when they campaign because they use it to their advantage. And I'm telling you my experience because I'm on the East-West corridor. And those things have to be a thing of the past. And really, I think that our society is evolving, and I think our younger people will bring about more change and erase barriers, not only where race is concerned, but even where sexism and gender will change.
Well, I will like the day when we have elections in Trinidad and Tobago, and we don't have elections, based on race in Trinidad and Tobago. Based on race in Trinidad, and we have an election based on issues. And we don't have to talk about, Indians and blacks and Chinese and Syrians, but we have a race based on issues, and people go to the polling booth and based on issues. I don't know when I don't know if that's ever gonna happen, but I'm hoping for the day that will be something that could happen in Trinidad and Tobago.
I too, as I tell you, I am the product of a mixed marriage, and any racist talk if you talk against one race or another race, I'm 6 or 1/2 a dozen or the other. Either way, it will offend me. So I am sometimes more aware of it. But I would like to see the day when the statements like the Calcutta ship statements and so on will be wrongly condemned, and the people who make statements like that could be fired. You move them. You can't condone those kind of statements and then tell me you are not racist, So I too look forward to the day when we will deal with issues in the country and performance rather than race.
Anything particular you like to raise, you like to tell the people about that's going on with you, your constituency, your party, anything? Let me say happy 33rd anniversary to the UNC. I know this is going to be 33 years that the UNC been in existence. She went out a little bit.
UNC is the second oldest political party in Trinidad and Tobago. So, of course, happy anniversary to our founding fathers and to our present political leader, Mrs. Kamala Prasad Bisesa, for charting the way forward, and to our thousands of members. We do have a strong membership, and we do have a one-man, one-vote system of strong democracy in the party. And I want to congratulate every member of the United National Congress at this time. From a constituency level, I want to highlight an issue in terms of the number of COVID positive cases in schools, where we have entire classrooms having to go on quarantine, teachers in danger. And what happens is that the children may not get severe symptoms, but when they go home, their elderly parents and grandparents are at risk. The teachers, the same thing, they are more at risk than the children. I had one school, Cura Presbyterian, a school that was constructed under the former administration, 95% complete, but it has not been opened. Everything was shut down by this government. So the children are still very cramped in the old structure. And they are facing a double danger because they are cramped in that small space, and it makes the transmission of the COVID-19 virus even easier. So several teachers have been quarantined in the schools in St. Augustine, and the parents are very concerned. There are parents who called me to ask, what will happen if I don't send my child to school? What action will they take, legal action against me? What will happen to the child? Will the child be kicked out of school? Looking for legal advice to say, I don't want to send my child to school because of the danger they are in. So it is a matter that I'm very concerned about, and the government has to be decisive and make interventions, both the Ministry of Education and the Ministry of Public of Health.
Well, Mrs. Ameen, is it Mrs. Ameen? It's Mrs. Ameen, right?
It's Miss Ameen.
Okay.
But in this day and age, a woman is Miss and a man is Mr. You don't ask a man is Mr. if he's married or not. And same goes for a woman. It is Miss, whether she's married or not, it is Miss.
All right.
So it's Khadijah. Yeah, that's a more modern approach.
Okay. Yeah. I'm going to use that approach from now on. So I'm not going to ask if it's Mr. or Mrs. anymore. I just say Miss, right? but Miss, I mean, it's always a pleasure to have you in the village. We know you could only spend a short time with us, but we appreciate you always taking the time to join us here in the village. Any closing words before you go?
I just want to thank you all for keeping the flag flying in Trinidad and Tobago, for raising the issues and examining them in a way that possibly put pressure on the government to do what is right. I want to thank you guys for continuing the fight within the US, but it is a fight for Trinidad and Tobago.
But Mr. Amin, before you go, anytime you come here, right, it'll be a peaceful kind of fight, right? It'll be a kind of disrespectful fight, right? We have never disrespected you here, right? Did you hear me? She went out a little bit. She went out a little bit, folks. Okay, this you went out a little bit. Ms. Amin, you went out a little bit. We didn't hear you for the last 45 seconds.
All right, but I heard your question.
Right.
And I just want to remind you that very early, I was warned that you are PNM.
Yeah.
So I take your questions and I take your perspective in a respectful manner. And I know that I don't expect to convince you, but I know that we could respectfully disagree. You know, so because I know you are PNM, I know to take what you are saying with a dose of salt as well. You know, but it's good that we can have respectful discussions in spite of your shortfalls. You know, we are PNM.
I like that. No, but no, I tell everyone, right? We allow all people from any party to come in and have discussions with us, and we say that when we come, regardless of who you support, you know, we are going to be respectful to you and in the discussions. Every time anybody comes here, yeah, you there? She's just going in and out.
Yeah, I guess it just wrap it up, you know.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So right. Okay, take care. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Okay. Bye.
So is it top of your answer?
Yeah. So there you have it, folks. We're going to go for a quick station identification. It's in the village. Ulrich, I see you, Ulrich. Lollipop, I see you. I see quite a few of you guys. When you come back, we're gonna talk with you guys. It's in the village with the DAG Triplets on WZYE 95.9 FM. Stick and stay. We'll be right back after this short message.
You're listening to WZYE 95.9 FM. You are listening to WZYE 95.9 FM, the most influential name in Caribbean radio in the tri-state area. Broadcasting from East Orange, New Jersey, the most influential name in Caribbean radio, WZYE 95.9 FM.
It's in the village with the DAG Triplets and WZYE 95.9 FM. We come to every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday from 7 to 10 p.m. That's Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday from 7 to 10 p.m. So, Albert Montano, boy. Albert, it's in hard tonight, boy. I feel Albert drink. I feel Albert drink Joan Bailey's, you know. I feel so. You know. Chris Watson says, "I'm happy she's talking about corruption, but it's a far cry now for her. Little too late." Oh God, look, Ulrich vexed too bad, boy. Ulrich, when you make them live, don't cost so much, boy. We go play them on WZYE, but you know we can't play them with the cost. Ulrich say, and Sam, wasn't she the same Minister of Finance that raised tickets from $100 to $1,000? Only when they're out of office that I see all kind of things. All of them is just games. Oh God, Ulrich saying is, but Ulrich, isn't it nice that we have people at least talking? At least they're talking, they're saying something. Albert Montana said, "I know plenty of tough people who left the PNM and suffered worse than Karen Nunes." What is that? What Rajvi said there? All your buy, all your cow ready for Monday. What is Monday, Rajvi? What is Monday? Chris Watson, answer me when she was in the belly of the beast and she didn't change anything. Why now she trying to talk? You know, always something else in truth. Think about this, right?
Monday's Eid in Trinidad.
Or Monday's Eid. Think about this, right, folks? PNM have an internal election coming up. And no one can run against Dr. Rowley. Forget what Diana saying that hey, for she would have run and she would have this and she would have that. Nobody.
She don't understand the dynamics.
She don't understand. She don't understand. No one can run against Dr. Rowley, and no one is going to run against Dr. Rowley from within the PNM in cabinet.
They can run, but they would not survive after that.
Correct is right. You can run all you want. Runner, go and run. But when you finish, just ready to run around the savannah in real.
You'll never stop running.
Never stop running.
You run and you're done.
Yep. So Chopik say, well, I look like 100% here. The normal nasty PNM race politics. God, is not only PNM race politics all year. It's both party. We have to stop it for both parties.
Both party is your party spinning this race and saying it and turning things into racist meaning.
Gary, that's not true, Gary. Both parties
into racist meaning.
Gary, you see, Gary, until we agree that both parties play racial politics, we're gonna continue with this political divide.
People, I never hear them spin any kind of race talk or push that. They would not tolerate that.
Gary, the commercial with the people eating grass, that was race politics. That was race politics.
And your party didn't spin it into a racist meaning. Somebody was stupid doing that in the first place. That was a stupid move.
So they could say when the PNM did the thing with
Ansem, who was the campaign manager? Rodney Charles, an African Trini. So what he was doing? You had to ask Rodney Charles about that. What did he do?
I don't understand that.
Rodney Charles he was the man managing the campaign at the UNC. He was the campaign manager. Is he who allowed that to happen?
So I don't understand.
So why would Rodney Charles promote a racist campaign against Afro people when he's an African?
Okay. Rohan Sananan is the campaign advisor, was the guy who ran the campaign for the PNM. Why will he allow something to go against Indian people in Trinidad and Tobago?
Why Rohan allowed it?
Yeah, you brought up Rodney Charles. I brought up Rohan Sananan.
I have to tell you, Rodney Charles ran the campaign.
And Rohan Sananan ran the PNM campaign.
Rohan Sananan ran the PNM campaign.
Correct.
Oh, I see.
See, we just making things. We making it. We just making things, and not only Andrew Gabriel too as well.
Andrew who? Gabriel? Who is he?
Yeah.
I don't know who he is.
Yeah. He's one of the I think he's from the Syrian connection.
Okay.
You know when Dr. Rowley won the campaign in 2000, when he was up on the stage in 2015, he said because of this man here, Ranson, and why we won the election, right? Because I was there in Barry's house. I was right there.
Okay.
So what I'm saying, Barry, what I'm saying to you guys is this: any race politics have to stop. Whether it's PNM, PDP, UNC, COP, MSJ, TSJ. Now it doesn't matter, and it doesn't matter who is in charge, because sometimes the people in charge don't even know what the other people doing. They don't.
Fitzgerald Hines went bold and brave and made a lot of racist thing about calling all African people to vote PNM. You never see UNC do that.
But
Fitzgerald went out the public domain and called me and he clash about that.
But Gary, there are certain things done in the public domain and there are certain things done privately.
Where did you see the UNC went public and call all Indians to vote UNC?
But Gary, I never said that. I said there are certain things done publicly and certain things done privately.
The banana thing was a distasteful thing, but their things were twisted. Things were twisted to mean racial when it should not have been twisted like that way. And it was stupid. It was stupid to do that kind of campaign. All right. But we had to take up this. We had to take up this with Rodney Charles. We had to take it up with him.
No, I'd rather take it up with him because he mightn't even know what was going on. He mightn't even know.
He was
Ron
the man
Sullivan
running the
might not know
campaign.
what's going.
He was the man running the campaign.
Yeah, I mean the buck stops with him, but I don't think everything he doesn't know what people are going on and do. I don't think everything he knows. I mean, I'm not trying to, but I don't think Ron Sullivan knew
so
everything that was
with
happening too.
either party, any low level person supporter makes some racist some thing, and the party don't can't really control all of that. But at the same time, when it comes from the officials at the upper level making that kind of thing, I find it's disrespectful on both ends because we have people on all kind of, we are mixed race country, we are mixed culture, we multicultural, we multiracial. So to promote that kind of that nonsense, and it's still been promoted among the
Yeah,
PNM.
yeah, but Gary,
You
but
is considered to be a traitor of the African people.
why is that? How is that?
How you mean? You are considered to be a traitor?
Why is that?
That's how they're looking at you.
I don't care
They
if they
cuss
look
out
at
Diana. They cuss out Diana
they
Asking
can look at
thing.
me however they want. That's them.
But
I mean,
I'm just telling you.
yeah,
That's what I'm telling you.
I
They
can't
cuss
control your
Diana.
opinions.
They cuss Diana bad
Yeah,
for
well,
hanging out with me.
because she's a Bajan. That's right.
No, they cuss she about that Indian man she hanging out with. Hey, you want to hear half of the thing Diana get cussed real bad for me. So I mean, that's some kind of stupid people. This is what Khadijah was making the point that people are not seeing the issues, and that's what we're talking about on this end. They're not voting on the issues; they're voting on stupidity.
Both sides of the coin.
Well, we are
Both sides.
supporters. We are supporters on both sides. I would not doubt, that has this stupid way of thinking. But I'm referring when the party does not deal with it, when the party condones it, when the party is numb and mum about saying anything like these things. When the Calcutta ship statement made in Tobago, the PNM should have refuted, but they went along with it. From the night time I heard that Calcutta statement, I say, hell no, I ain't going to Tobago. If that's the way all they want to think. You know what I mean? Why would you want to invest money? Why would you want to invest money, spend money in a place that blatantly says certain things about you? It was painted in a way. Up to now, Watson, you get cussed. They tried to blackmail Watson that he hanging out with those Indians. So.
Rajvi, that's interesting. Rajvi say I have the resolution set too high on StreamYard. That's why it's only sticking or buffering. All right, I gotta fix that. I will fix that, Rajvi. Thanks a lot for that advice.
The resolution too high?
Yeah. So
I had a lot of problems on my phone too with somehow the thing was something was freezing up. Yeah.
Now you see, Lana says we have community police officers trained to deal with children. Not them fellas are in. Albert Montana says, no, Khadijah, I mean, the PM has medical checkup in the USA every year. Ali say, nah, that will not work in Trinidad because them fathers is rum drinkers. Nah, it's only Fridays, highly. Only Fridays.
Only Friday they just drink?
Yeah, only Fridays. I mean, they will go be in the school Monday through Thursday.
Only mothers could fill in on Fridays while the fathers drink at the run shop then.
Chris Watson say the internet in Trinidad like a smoke signal. Gary, look, Gary, look, your family come back, boy.
I don't know who that is.
Amit Mahadia?
Yeah, he's Mahadia.
He's already going to join a virtual meeting.
I don't know who he is. Yeah. So, but there's a combination of things has to be dealt with. The police is absolutely necessary to restrain anything from getting out of control. But you have to. I mean, these problems have been existing too long. Is like we are being so. It's like we acting like this now happening, and we should have had this thing under the belt already, and preparing the police force to deal with the issues in the school and how to handle the kids. You can't go in the school and beat them up and shoot them up. You have to manage the kids in a different way. You know, the police has to be trained in counseling too. It's not just a matter of you go there and arrest
Gary,
and you become a
Gary,
bulldog.
Gary, Chris Watson says, true and some. I agree with you, no police in school. Gary, police are not there to be in schools. Police should be on this, especially in Trinidad and Tobago, with our situation. Let them police stay out in the street and fight crime.
They had to be in the school and out of the school when the kids get out of school to keep them. You see how they getting on? They run. You see one of the kids went and jump on the back of the other kid while he lying on the ground there. No, if that
Gary,
kid dies after that injury, they have to be restrained.
Gary, just imagine how many schools they have in Trinidad and Tobago, for example. How many schools do you think they have? How many schools, folks? How many schools do we have in Trinidad and Tobago? Right? Are we gonna have a police car by all the schools in Trinidad and Tobago?
We should. We should.
200 schools.
We should.
200 police cars.
But out of the 200 schools, where are we having the most problem?
That's not the issue, Gary.
Yeah, that is one of the big issues. No, but anyway, the police in this time and age, we need to have police in our schools. We need to have police on patrol when the kids get out of school to keep control of things. The police can't be coming after somebody dead or get shot. All right, the kids are going to school with guns on them. A lot of it is not being spoken out to.
How many guns have they seized from kids in school?
How many guns? They have that hasn't been reported publicly.
Oh God, Gary, come on, man. Man. You saying the kids going to school with guns, and the police have how many guns the police have seized from kids going to school with guns?
How many has not been seized as the kids go in and out of the school and pull the gun on the teacher? Some of them teachers afraid to even talk about it. There's a lot of things not being said on them. So the police is definitely needed there. I'm telling you.
So you are now justifying things that haven't been said by you saying it.
I am telling you, the police is needed. The things are that bad that the police needs to be there.
All right. Okay.
On patrol to put a restraint on thing. Now the other things has to be put into the psychological resources to deal with the issues. All of these additional things has to be dealt with. And like I say, if you send the kids for a couple laps and burn them out, that would be good too. There's a lot of strategy involved. So it's not just one thing. You don't just throw meat in the pot. You have to throw rice and peas and everything else with it. So it's a combination of things has to be done.
Isaac Trini, welcome. Zahid, welcome. Isaac Trini said, I smoke plenty weed as a teen and I still end up going to university. Laugh out loud.
Well, I go to school with a lot of children smoke the weed and they didn't do nothing to nobody else.
Zahid, welcome. Yeah, Gary, you see, you think police is for everything. Police is for everything.
You utilize the police to restrain things when they get out of control, but you also have to treat the situation. You have to treat it.
So, hold on. Colin Smith, welcome. Colin Smith says, call politicians in Trinidad and Tobago. What do you mean, Colin? Media in Trinidad tends to toe party lines, whoever in government. Amit Mahabir, full 100. That is, I didn't know I just say that. Let me welcome Kenton Thomas again.
So that's the culture. That's the culture.
Yeah.
What media toting party lines?
Yeah.
That's big time in America here on some Fox News and CNN. Up to now, them have evidence that Biden stole the election, but nothing talk about Trump trying to hijack the results and almost cause what took place in Washington there.
An insurrection.
No. Let me show you something, right? I want to show you something. Let me stop the screen share here. And let me show you all something, right? This is something that happened last Tuesday here in our beloved Trinidad and Tobago. Let me see which one is this here. Wow, I have so much things here, man. Here it is, right here. So this here, all right. So this here happened this weekend, right? This Tuesday, right? Tuesday gone. Political leader of the Progressive Democratic Patriots founder, the Honorable Watson Duke, Deputy Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly. Is zero tolerance on money laundering and funding of terrorism. Is this really the leadership we deserve in Trinidad and Tobago? Right? And it goes on. Countries with the best economic development and social stability uphold sound political governance centered on freedom of communication and the political will to end corruption. Two things Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley deservedly undermines. Dr. Rowley continues to foment self-serving interests of detriment to the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. His latest actions regarding questionable correspondent banking practices in this country demonstrate his inaptitude in exerting sound governance in managing the affairs of this country. Sadly, he continues impairing our country's reputation in the international space. First meeting with the Iran president. Now, Dr. Rowley is under a potential U.S. congressional investigation for narco-terrorism and funding terrorism chaired by U.S. Congresswoman and chair of the House Financial Services Committee, Maxine Waters, as highlighted in the Trinidad Express article dated April 21st, 2022. As of 2020, there are only two countries on the International Financial Action Task Force blacklist, North Korea and Iran. In addition, Iran is on the list for state-sponsored financing of terrorist organization Hezbollah based in Venezuela. As of 2018, U.S. officials estimate Iran transferred over $700 million annually to fund terrorist group. Yet, Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley is negotiating with the Iran president regarding oil trade, selfishly placing his honest, diligent citizen at risk for U.S. sanctions and international scrutiny. Right? Then it goes on and on, right? And then at the end, it asks these questions, right? Are we to believe Dr. Rowley was unaware of these illegal practices? And this is going back to the PNM Women's League, who asked him, Karen Nunes, to share a question. So here are some questions for the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago now. Are we to believe that Dr. Rowley was unaware of these illegal practices regarding money laundering and terrorism in this article here? Does Prime Minister Rowley thinks we are busy trying to make ends meet that we wouldn't notice what he's doing? Is Dr. Rowley's hubris such that he will put us all at risk? And has Dr. Rowley decided to align the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago with regional and global bad actors? I want the PNM Women's League to ask Dr. Rowley to answer these questions, just as they asked Karen Nunes Teixeira to answer these questions. And this was signed by Honorable Watson Solomon Duke from the political league. Now listen to this, guys.
But I have a question.
Yeah.
Our financing of terrorism, is that being blown out of proportion, really? How much financing are we really doing supporting terrorism? I mean, but there might be one or two fanatics in Trinidad, but I don't think to the extent. I would really like to see the number of people
Gary, that's why the questions are being asked. You ask questions to get answers.
Yeah, but I'm just bringing my point here, the fact that we are that capable or that involved in financing terrorism. I could see people involved in drug trade, but as far as it comes to terrorism, I don't think that we have that much people involved in terrorism.
Gary, questions are being asked, and the people need the questions answered. Just like how the piano
Yeah,
woman
no,
who asks.
I understand that. I understand
Yeah,
that.
the only
No,
way you can find out information is by asking questions. But let me go quickly further, Gary. Right? Now, listen to this, right? Oh, the next one is the release from the Ministry of, let me see. I'm going to go to the ministry release now. Hold on. Okay, here it is. Here it is. Can you guys see the ministry release or not? Let me see something. I have so much screens open here, guys. Okay, maybe okay. Something happened there.
What's up is PDP.
So anyway, so you blame the Prime Minister for trying to do some business with an oil-producing country?
Hold a minute.
It's not any country, you know, it's which.
Tommy, are you guys hearing me?
I'm
Yep.
hearing you. I know Tommy.
You're clear. You hearing me?
No, but I'm not. Hold up. I'm not seeing you guys. Oh, here it is here.
Okay.
Hold on. Something going on here.
Somebody hijacking the internet, man. I've been seeing it.
Yeah. I don't know what going on. Somebody messing with the internet, boy.
Yeah, they're hijacking your the software.
The internet's spinning. It's spinning. Let me see something. See if I can close a few of these things here. Why the hell this open? Let me close that. Close that.
You know, they have friends in China. They could send you a bug.
Okay, here it is. Here. All right, we're back though. Something happened there. Let me stop sharing this screen. All right, that was from the PDP, right? Let me look at now what the Ministry of Foreign Affairs sent out, all right? And I just want to do a little chronology here. Let me see. Here we come. Ministry of Foreign Affairs. This is it here. All right. So the ministry issued a release on the 28th of April. All right. And it says in an article dated April 26, 2022, Watson Duke formula display of disregard of facts leveled unsubstantiated accusations against Prime Minister Rowley on matters of critical importance to Trinidad and Tobago. At the outset, Mr. Duke may wish to withdraw his statements about investigation of the Prime Minister, which is erroneous, libelous, and no doubt seeps from a well of ignorance of the interaction to which he referred as matters of international engagement. Prime Minister Rowley has been party to discussions with Congresswoman Maxine Waters, chairwoman of the U.S. House Financial Services Committee on de-risking and correspondent banking since 2019. The roundtable discussion on de-risking and correspondent banking held in Barbados on 20th April 2022 follows a series of high-level meetings between Caribbean communities, CARICOM, and Congresswoman Waters, based on the decision of CARICOM heads of government to address the issue with the European Union and with the United States of America. All right? And they go on. They didn't answer any of the questions. They just talk about certain laws and so on and so on. All right? Now, this is from the ministry, right? Now, let's go to the media in Trinidad and Tobago. Right? Let's move that.
Hello.
Hey, welcome back, Storm.
Hello.
Yeah, how you doing?
I had a wonderful time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hold on, man.
What did you see?
The stylistics, the delphonics, the blue notes, the emotions.
That's why you're so emotional right now?
Oh God, the stylistics, they have style for so. Trash man didn't get no pay cash today. Oh, because they want more pay.
Okay, hold on.
I'm going to let me slow, boy. You're like molasses going up a hill.
What's going on here, boy?
Huh? You're like molasses going up a hill. Hi, Albert. I had a good time at the concert. Next one I'm going to see is Casey and the Sunshine Band.
Oh, I know what happened.
But
Okay,
answer
here we
me
go.
like molasses going up a hill.
Yeah, I have more than one screen open. Okay, so that was the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, right? Now let's look at news in Trinidad and Tobago.
Good night,
Right?
Chris.
So here we have all right, let me get this one. Okay, here is that. Here is the Newsday, right? It's not an article talking about what was put out in the public domain, right? So this is Newsday. Government dismisses due claims on U.S. Trinidad and Tobago banking issues, right? This article is just an article that was taken from what was released by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and the Newsday just reprinted. They never published the op-ed piece from Watson Duke, but they just published the response from the government. All you know why, right? Do you know why they didn't publish the op-ed piece?
It's the government media company.
Thank you very much, Gary. All right. So that's what happened in that one. Right. So let's look at another one. Right. Let's look at another one now. This thing is unbelievable. It's really unbelievable. Okay. So here is another one. This is now another company outside of Trinidad and Tobago called InvestiDollar, right? And this was yesterday. And this is what they said. Authorities dismisses due claim on U.S. Trinidad and Tobago banking points. And this was just the article from the Newsday. You see Newsday there on the picture? But listen to this. Anybody know what is the International and Caricom Affairs Ministry? Right? So you see, they want to deceive people into thinking that this is some kind of international and Caricom Affairs Ministry dismissed claims by Progressive Democratic Patriots, PDP chief Watson Duke concerning the Prime Minister method to working with United States authorities to handle alleged cash laundering and terrorism financing in Trinidad and Tobago. Duke made this claim in a Facebook post submitted on Tuesday. Anybody know is the International Caricom Affairs Ministry? Okay. One more. Let's see the pattern, right? The pattern is that the media in Trinidad and Tobago not going to publish anything they think is going to make the government look bad. Right? So they will just publish what the government says. Right?
So
okay,
then you live in a socialist, what you call it, communist, autocratic republic.
No, not really. Let me see, what is this one? Not really. All right. Now that's the ministry letter. That is the letter from the ministry. This is the letter that everybody republished. Just this letter here. Everybody republished this letter. You see it? All the same information in this letter is what all the media published in Trinidad and Tobago. Nobody published the initial document, right? That went public. Nobody. Why is that? Why is that? Can anybody help me?
Propaganda.
Propaganda? You feel so? I think you think so?
A certain narrative they want to push and propagate.
There we go. There we go. There we go. When they want a certain propaganda that they want to push, that's the propaganda they're going to push. And that's a sad thing. That's a sad thing. You know? But I guess we like it so.
And you have
so when you look at all,
you have your sycophant friends with the podiums and their social media forums subscribing to that propaganda. And they have the followers believing in the propaganda and propagating it. Watch Trinket's handing out close to the local election. Trinket are giving out left, right, and center. And they want to blind them. That's the same thing. That's the same thing Christianity do with people. Like put the Bible in one hand, tell them to kneel and close their eye. And when they open their eye, the Bible in their hand and they own their, and then Christianity own all their land. That's exactly what the PNM want to do. Close your eye, open your hand. They ain't getting no Bible though. It's your golden ballot they want. Right, to keep you, they like you so. They want you to stay so. Don't move from where is. Don't move from the sewage overrunning your homes. Don't move from the poverty-stricken situation you're in. No, I ain't knocking nobody. Please, all you don't go and jump on me. I could defend myself. Your generation after generation after generation after generation needs to depend on URP and CPEP contract. Or you mustn't elevate all this from them things. Or you mustn't be able to own all your own businesses. Or nothing so. Right? Keep all your so. They want all your so. All you must can your children and your great-grandchildren and them too depend on them CPEP and URP contract. That's how they want all you. No, you all must elevate from those. Your children must not go to college and have an opportunity to travel and do stuff. The PNM want you so begging them for a 10-day walk and a 20-day walk. You only need to wake up, Only need to wake up. All right, go ahead. The storm calm. The stylistics have me calm. Everybody done talking.
It look like you hear me?
Who Rajni calling a wicked woman?
I got some frozen.
Kamala Harris.
I think something.
That's how they want. That's how they want you. Continue along this track. Don't do nothing. Begging for this and begging for that. Begging for the drains to be fixed. Begging for booklets to fill. Begging to fix the schools. What do you call them? The councillors can't get enough money to fix it, to handle the burgesses that they're responsible for. This is what they want. We love you so. Stay so. Don't try to elevate. Don't try to fix up your home up in Lavantil and have pretty homes and open up nice businesses. Continue with the gang warfare and killing one another and continue down that road. Yeah, only kill one another now. Yeah. We like you. We love you so. Don't have no prosperity thoughts in all your head. Just continue so now. There? Continue so. That's all they want. That's what they want. They don't want nothing better. That's what they're killing, the women missing. That's what they want. And while they at the political troughs, feeding, fleecing the political troughs, and they're lining their pockets, and they're living high, like the Jamaicans would say, high off the hog. Yeah? All you need to wake up, wake up. Wake up, because them closer to the departure lounge than the young people. All you need to wake up, wake up and do the right thing to take Trinidad and Tobago forward, to take Trinidad, Guyana come and bypass Jamaica. Everybody's GDP growth is showing a positive. But Trinidad, what's Trinidad GDP doing? Huh? A handful of people are experiencing growth and prosperity. Not all. People stressed out, children stressed out, people killing one another, people threatening to kill themselves. This is you call this growth? This is what you want? Huh? Look, all you need to wake up, wake up. Wake up,
So here's a vice president's speech to Caribbean leaders. Okay,
Good
well, I'm there.
afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Thank you all for joining us today for this very important meeting. I am Kamala Harris, and I'm pleased to welcome you all to this conversation and this convening. As a neighbor in the Western Hemisphere, the United States shares a common bond with the nations of the Caribbean. As neighbors, we know our partnership is key to our shared prosperity and security. We also know that we have common challenges. And that is why I've convened this meeting to strengthen our partnership and chart a path forward together. As we all know, our nations have extensive people-to-people ties. Millions of Americans have Caribbean heritage. Millions of Americans travel to the Caribbean each year for vacation, to visit friends and family, and to engage with the richness of that history. From South Florida to New York and beyond, Caribbean culture has become a meaningful part of American culture, and we are all grateful for that. At the same time, we recognize that we find ourselves collectively in a challenging time. The pandemic has upended so many aspects of our lives and the lives of our people. And economic recovery has been difficult and uneven for so many in this region. There is also an existential threat we collectively face in the climate crisis. And we are acutely aware that the world's emissions have an outsized impact on the Caribbean. In light of this, I want to be clear. The United States is committed to you, our neighbors, and we will take on these challenges together. Convenings like this haven't happened very often. So today, as a demonstration of our administration's commitment, I propose this be an annual meeting. We have, of course, today a lot to discuss. And there are three areas in particular that I will ask us to focus on. Areas that I know are a priority for many of you: economic recovery, security, and climate and energy. On the issue of economic recovery, the United States is the Caribbean's biggest economic partner. This partnership benefits the economy of the United States, just as it benefits your economies. So we will explore today how we can strengthen that economic partnership. On the issue of security, I know from many of you that you are particularly concerned about the trafficking of drugs and guns and the associated violence. That is why today's agenda includes a discussion of additional funding and other support the United States can offer to reduce violence in the region. And third, we will discuss the urgent issue for our entire planet, the issue of the climate crisis. In particular, we will discuss ways to strengthen your climate resilience and to accelerate the transition to a clean energy economy. Your input will help guide the United States' effort in the days and months ahead. To each of you, I thank you for being here, and I thank you for the work we have done and will continue to do together. I look forward to our discussion today and to our gathering in Los Angeles at the Summit of the Americas in June. Thank you to the members of the press who are watching these opening remarks. We will now proceed with the rest of our meeting. Thank you.
So there you have it, folks. There you have it. Vice President talking to top 15 leaders in the Caribbean. Right? Right? This was it.
Okay, so what they talk about?
You know what they talk about?
Well, she said
So that I need to know what they talk about. I can't comment now. Anybody have a video what they talk about?
Nah.
Okay.
That video might be a...
The 14th for the Summit of Americas, they're going to talk. Dr. Rowley said in his press conference that it was going to be some discussions about Venezuela and Trinidad, position with that. You know, they were going to talk about the banking issues that they're having and the regulations that they want in place. You know, all these things. And the Prime Minister, you remember in his last press conference, he was upset that Trinidad was being branded in a certain way that he didn't think was fair. It was being branded without evidence. You know, so in that aspect, I support him on that. You know,
but Gary, if banking institutions are extricating themselves from Trinidad and Tobago, it's something they know.
But no. What the Prime Minister is saying, and I have to agree with them, the actions. The first of all, the statement was made without evidence. They has not shown the Prime Minister any evidence based on what they are saying. All right. Now I understand we have some issues, but at the same time, the actions, you know, the Prime Minister saying, how can you make these accusations without evidence? So he
Gary,
Gary,
you were saying when you play the card,
I support him on that. As much as we disagree with him, I support him on that.
You were saying when you play the car and you necessarily tape, we spent about 15 minutes on that? You were saying?
Yes, I understand that. But so, what he's saying at the same time too is that
she's lying then. I feel she lying.
I am not saying she's lying. I'm not saying she's lying. But the thing about it is that you're accusing Trinidad of financing terrorism, and where's the evidence of that? I mean, there were certain people might be involved in that.
That's a question. Did the Prime Minister meet with Iran president?
So what's wrong with that?
Oh, okay. All right.
So what's wrong with that? I mean, it was a courtesy call. He was in the region. Trinidad and Tobago is not a warring country, right?
You got that right, because KCR got his neck in the neck, he knee in the neck and the nose, and nobody ain't get up yet. You're right, they ain't warring. Because
but Diana, we don't fight war with no country. We talk to everybody. Why should why should the United States dictate who we cannot talk to?
Gary, you ever heard of Hezbollah?
I heard of all these people, but what I'm saying to you is
okay. All right. You know,
our prime minister, Iran is an oil-producing country.
Do you know who finances Hezbollah?
Who finances Hezbollah?
Yeah,
a lot of countries does, including Iran. But what I'm saying to you, that has nothing to do with us. The prime minister was in the region.
We meeting with countries that finance terrorism, right?
So the United States don't meet with countries that do these things too?
You see, you want to shift the goalpost.
No, I'm not shifting the goalpost. I am saying that.
Listen, America don't meet with Iran.
But what I'm saying to you is that
no, America don't meet with Iran.
America or any country should not have the right to dictate who we can and cannot talk to.
But Gary, America don't meet with Iran. America don't meet with, only recently, since the pandemic, I decided to meet with Venezuela.
Okay. Well, America does Venezuela. America does
Iran. We meet with Venezuela.
Okay, but we are a non-warring country. We can't fight nobody. We are a peaceful country. Our
Okay.
prime minister was in the region. I see no reason why he could not have a conversation as a matter of courtesy that he was there.
Okay.
Okay,
But
well,
I mean,
I
the,
didn't.
but
He,
Gary, why? So he had a conversation with Iran. Why he can't disclose what he talk about?
hey,
Yeah. I asked the question. And them journalists in Trinidad, they're afraid. They're too boobly. They're not gonna ask he what did you and the prime minister or whoever the Ayatollah, whoever he meet with, what did all they discuss in Iran? That's a pertinent question to the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. I
well,
want
back
to
to
know what you discussed with that man in Iran.
but politicians
Hello.
don't discuss everything that they talk about with
You
leaders.
don't discuss everything that you baby, hello. You are my elected leader, and you meeting with one of the world's. I want to know what you doing talking to this man.
These
What was
guys,
all you discussing?
these
And
guys,
what was this helicopter thing that moved in the night? And what is this Pegasus that supposed to be in Trinidad spying on? Look, Gary.
that had nothing to
anyway,
do with my prime minister saying hello to somebody in a foreign country, whether they get along with the United States or
It
not.
ain't no hello. It ain't no hello. So why, Gary? Why, if it's just hello, why cannot he speak to the population
Okay,
and
so
tell
whenever
them what he said, what they discuss?
he was looking to see what business opportunity that can take place.
He need to come out in the open and tell people what he discussed.
Let
I
me
feel so.
that if the United States and Iran want to fight, that's something to do with Trinidad and Tobago.
Let me tell you. Yeah. Let him keep going ahead doing what he want to do. You meet with Iran and you talking, and you ain't telling the people of Trinidad and Tobago what you're talking about. You are our elected leader. Be supposed to know what you're talking about.
But he looking for
With
some oil.
who?
What's wrong with looking for some oil business?
Even if it's that, come and tell us what it is you're talking about.
But
You
hey,
can't.
but did he
You
not
can't
say,
you can't be doing things under the carpet, hush, quiet. Yeah. No, and watch. I hear the Grand Magdalena up for sale now too. How come everything in Trinidad and Tobago selling so?
Diana, you can buy it? Anyways, Vice President Harris said that the U.S. wants to aid the Caribbean countries in several respects in
Yeah,
crime,
yeah.
crime reduction. Um, Additionally, she said drug
and
trafficking.
we go take the money and do nothing with it. What do you think we're gonna do?
Additionally, she said in alternative energy and what's that and reducing
Gary,
carbon footprint.
let me say what Albert Montano says. Trinidad and Tobago has no business with a country like Iran and also Venezuela at this time.
Yep.
Well,
Gary, you don't understand it. Sorry.
Yep.
Trinidad and Tobago can talk to whoever they want to. They are a sovereign country.
Gary, you're not in this climate. And when they
You
get
say
this money,
America buying oil from Russia as we speak. So what is your point?
and when they get this money from Kamala Harris, where's it gonna end up? Who pocket it going into?
Let me tell you something. We had to put an end to master dominating. All right, and if we go to job when master say the job, all right, we talking one way, and then Trinidad is an independent country, and if we want to talk to anybody, we're free to do that. And America has no right to tell people who to talk to.
Yeah, but when Joe Biden talk to anybody, he doesn't let me know what to talk about. And it does be a big open thing. It does be an open forum, and me under the shake and let us see what they talk about. But he doing thing behind the citizens' back. And it was, by the way, you're finding out. That looks suspicious. What is they trying to hide?
What Dr. Rowley could be planning with Iran? Come on, come on.
But what? Look, from a man that say he ain't gonna shut down Petrotrin. Look, you best watch yourself, huh? Watch yourself.
Our problems with Dr. All is more on a domestic level, not on an international level. Right?
Your problem with who? You know what the problem is? All of them, or like call the answer and say, all of them need to resign and go home. All. Go home.
Well, I support that. All,
And let new people take the helm. All. It ain't nothing ain't working right. Nothing is working right. We need new blood, younger blood, people with innovative ideas, people who was in the trenches, you know, in certain industries in there, especially like the waste management company, the place. I mean, gee, the rest of hand, boy. Ooh, Zaid, who was helping people with the booklets and all these homeless people. Those are people who should be working in the Ministry of Social Services. They understand social services. Don't because you had a degree and huh? They had the wrong people in the jobs. Like Ansel says, square pegs and triangular holes.
No, wrong pegs and square holes.
I putting them in triangular holes. It ain't working. It ain't working. Nothing is going to get fixed. You continue along the road that you're on. Nothing is going to work. Nothing's going to get fixed. Rainy season coming. Rainy season starting. It starts already. Watch the water coming down out of the hills. Anybody doing anything to capture it and reroute it anywhere? Nobody doing nothing. Everybody have a big walk under ODPM and the Ministry of so, no, give me the ministry, what works and whatever. Everybody have big work. But what people doing? Nobody doing nothing. Nothing for the people. Nothing. Everybody claiming the salary. But the people suffering. Water gushing coming down. Washing away through people's yards. And what's going on? Nobody's doing nothing. Everybody's drawing a salary. And all they want to bring electric cars and put on those roads with all that water flying going through. Look. Give me.
We're going to digitize the country with Flambeau here. What's wrong with you?
Digitalize the country? What? Huh? Yes. They're going to bring electric cars, yeah, and a heap of water on the road. But I ain't getting no electric car. I don't want to get electrocuted. Huh? That make any kind of sense?
No, we need solar cars, not electric.
Huh?
We need Caribbean.
Huh? People catching the tail. You have solar energy. People catching the tail to pay light bill. Oh God, start doing something with solar energy now. Solar energy, I don't know. You could pull the energy, and then and perhaps you could do something for the internet that way too. I don't know. It is stressful dealing with Trinidad. It is stress. Nobody wants innovation. Everybody just want to eat our food.
I think
and
people
and passion fruit. And I see a fella chopping down Balize plant. He mad.
But I think people outside of Trinidad probably more stressed than people in Trinidad.
Yeah, boy. I just tired.
I think so. I think we're more stressed watching the thing going on there than them who live in there.
I'm tired of them. I'm tired. Tired people, How could you just sit back and let it go on this way? Y'all don't want better? Just because you have a work, well, I good, I holding on. But your neighbor might be catching it and your neighbor's streets over need help. So you don't care? You don't care. And look, and it's slipping into people abusing each other and husband and wife killing one another. Huh? Gangs retaliating against. Trinidad ain't no paradise no more, no? Shit. Touching bullets and all kind of thing, People coming in your home, lighting your blaze in your own home. Oh God, man. But we bring back Gary Griffith, yes?
You know, Diana, I never thought I would have said this, you know. All you know, just call a
Back
spade a
Gary
spade.
Griffith.
I think we might have to bring back Gary Griffith.
Yeah, because I tell you what, there's too much shit going on.
You know who would like to hear that boy? My partner Ellis. Ellis, I think we might have to bring back Gary Griffith, you know. I feel so. Even though he was number 2 and 3 on with respect to murders in Trinidad.
Just to keep this murder thing down, because
I think
this acting pensioner, he ain't know what he doing.
Oh yeah, but he as you say that, when we come back, I want to play something with him when we come back, because that fella, boy, Lana, Albert, Rajvi, Eugene, and Hailey. Lana, Rajvi, Eugene, and Hailey. Put closing comments in the chat. All you might be surprised to hear this. I think we might have to bring back Gigi, boy.
Oh, finally, they're going and look at abuse in children's homes. Finally.
Yeah. You see that?
Yeah.
But listen, but then I know
they charge somebody.
You know what make it even worse? They're forming another committee again to go and look into
Another committee again. And somebody blow the whistle on them, and now they're going and look. Finally, children running away. It takes 3 girls to run away from a home to let all they know that this thing been going on for a while. Look,
we had a discussion here and that, a big discussion.
We had a big discussion here and that.
Top of the hour.
Them people
come back, we can ride that a little bit.
Yeah. Oh, it's in the village to the DAG Triplets. We're gonna go for a quick station identification. Stick on say. We'll be right back.
You're listening to WZYE 95.9 FM. You are listening to WZYE 95.9 FM, the most influential name in Caribbean radio in the tri-state area. Broadcasting from East Orange, New Jersey, the most influential name in Caribbean radio, WZYE 95.9 FM.
We are back to this in the village of the DAG Triplets on WZYE 95.9 FM. If all you don't know, this is a fellow by called like Kingsley. He's a big activist in Trinidad, and this is
a big
UNC party too bad. Yeah, a big UNC activist. What is his name there? He say, I'm gonna tell you what he say. What happened there, boy? This thing just going crazy, you know. Just so you know. Okay. He said, let me say happy anniversary to my party UNC, who leave me, but I never left them. 33 years, we say in the UNC. We are UNC and proud. 33 years of UNC in TNT. That Kingsley boy. Yeah, we see
when you call it he's a PNM?
No, he's not PNM. He never be a PNM.
No? So when you call it he's a PNM?
No, he's not PNM.
I hear he just jumped wherever the money paying. So.
Well, I get the same thing too, but I answer him, friend. I don't know.
I hear me a Molly give some Bajan dollars, he'll jump over there too. So.
I have friends in the UNC. I have friends in the PDP. I have friends in the PNM. I have friends in the MSJ. I have friends that cause the political divide. All right? Okay. And
but I'm glad they're looking into this children's thing here. We gotta ride that story, Anselm, because them 3 girls run away, them 2 boys that they run away, and then they got killed. Remember?
Yeah.
You know, and
The Guardian newspaper that retract and give Sam Kojo an apology.
Okay, why they apologize?
You write something and say she father was a Rastafarian and he used to smoke weed.
Oh shit.
The Guardian, them is not real newspapers. All of them waste of time.
So wait,
Yeah.
your father never used to smoke weed. He wasn't a Rastafarian.
Well, they retract and apologize. So, like they get it wrong. All right. Let me see what's a quick story there.
So where they get our story from?
Hold on, let me see if I get this story. It's the Guardian. Them papers in Trinidad, them news in Trinidad it's not really, here you go.
They're selling
Retraction
propaganda.
and policy. Nah, they want that defend the government at all costs.
They get a subsidy from there.
Subsidy? What do you mean subsidy? What the hell is this here? The article gone, yes? Like they remove the article, yes? Yeah, boy.
Highly say I fed up, yes.
That is the closing comment.
What's going on with Champa? She here get long just so.
Anyway, guys, I gotta say a quick good night. We need to continue this topic on Tuesday. So we're trying to get some people in here.
Yeah, with children. Okay. Yeah. Because
right, so good night,
when you have children running away from homes and the girl children, I always propagate, children do not run away from a home where they feel loved, supported, and safe, and properly nourished. They're not running away from that home. They ain't even run away, even if you take away the laptop from them, or you take away the phone from them. They might run by then and complain, but they're coming back home. Children do not run away from a loving home. Mark my word when I tell you that. Yep. Something going on at that home them 3 girls run away from. St. Jude's. That's the name they run away from? Yeah, boy. They should give me the work to go and investigate. I will come out with a thorough investigation, well written, and connect all the dots for them. But no, they ain't gonna want to give me that work, see?
Is that P&M? Is that P&M?
They won't give me that work.
But are you a P&M?
I'm a human being. I'm a Trini. I'm a Bajan Trini.
All right. You keep on with that talk.
You should give me that consultation work. I will find all what's going on in them homes for all you. I will know exactly who doing what to who when I'm done with them. Yep.
You keep on. Yeah. What's the right task force to look at abuse in children's home?
Thank you, Albert.
Everything is a task force for them.
I love music, so when my besties, when we went to this little show, so it's nice to take a little time, go enjoy some of these things.
Yeah, everything is a task force, a task force, a task force.
Oh.
Yeah.
A task force for Paria too, right?
Yeah, look, Cliff Ramuta, boy. So Cliff Ramuta says somebody was associated with the P&M. I wonder who is that?
Oh.
Highly closing comments. You see, highly closing comments, right? So guys, again, Lana, Albert, Rajvi, Eugene, and highly put closing comments in the chat. I already see highly closing comments. But you see, this is an issue here. We have to stick with this issue and that other issue that we talked about.
Yeah, the children.
The children issues. We had to get some other people in here to discuss that.
Yeah, I go in and dig. I go and do some digging on my own.
Yeah, because
I just find some fantabulous guests, right, Ansel?
Correct is right. So, here is the acting commissioner.
when we all need to come together, all the good thinking persons who want well for Trinidad and Tobago, combined with the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, we'll work together and we'll move out the evil from our land. This is the right time. We are the law enforcement agency and we intend to enforce the law. And as we go ahead in the weeks and months coming, you all will see the different non-government organizations, government departments, and others who will be joining with us to fight this scourge that is existing in our land. And as I said, we will be victorious. Thank you very much.
And just one more thing from me, just any update on the process of the investigation?
Well, that investigation is going well. The homicide department, as I told you all before, with our professionals there, right? It is going well. I haven't gotten a briefing from them this morning as yet, but I know that they are on the job and they are continuing. Probably sometime next week I'll be able to say more as they conduct the investigation.
And that's what he should have said first. That's the first thing he should have said last time when he accused that fella of killing the police officer.
He need to go
That's
home.
what he should have said.
He need to go home.
Yeah,
he need to go. Who listening? Hey, Fitzgerald Hines, bring back Gary Griffith for me, please. Hurry up, because all they doing it. I'm tired now. All they need to bring back Gary Griffith or go and dig up Burrows. One or two.
Yeah, but I ain't gonna lie to you. Gary, boy, I ain't lying, eh? Boy.
Think bad in Trinidad now.
Think bad in Trinidad.
And you need somebody with chutzpah and marbles to stand up to these fellas. This acting pension I have there, he needs to go. Or go and find a police commissioner from one of the neighboring islands or something and bring him in and like get this place cleaned up. It ain't working right. Something wrong.
Yeah, that ain't making sense at all.
Something wrong. Or you need a bad AZZ woman with a bad attitude and put you in charge of all them there. Tell them, listen here, out them anything start up anyway, go on out it. That's what you need. Yeah. It ain't working. Something thing going downhill.
Yeah, and next Tuesday we wanna dissect Watchman comment now. And I know Ella's gonna be very upset because
next Tuesday, remember our council lady coming in with the council and the children, right? Talk about the psychological traumas and things that causes these children to act out and the adult people she counsels them what she won't call names, but what is high on the list that she's counseling for now, post-pandemic, and symptoms that she's seeing within the society and what's causing all this, what could be the cause of all this outbursts. And it's what they're gonna do. They're gonna put police in the school now. So you know what could possibly happen, right, Angela? What could possibly happen? You put armed police officers in schools to try to control irate.
Gary say you agree with that.
To control irate young children with armed police officers. They're going to start killing them now.
That ain't making no sense.
They're going to start killing them.
That ain't making no sense.
The first time one of them get killed, one of the police shoot one of their children, we're going to see what's going to happen.
There's no God thing in Trinidad and Tobago. That ain't making no sense. That makes no sense. But folks, we at that point in time, I just don't see that making any sense. Tommy, closing comments?
The best education does not happen at a desk, but rather engage in everyday living, hands-on exploring in active relationship with life. And that's from Vince Gauman. A pleasant good night and enjoy the rest of the weekend. Be safe out there. Hope to see you and hear from you on Tuesday.
Rajvi says have them in USA, police in every school. No, Rajvi, they don't have police in every school. They don't have police in every school.
No, they don't.
They don't. I know that for a fact. Go ahead, Anna.
Just want to say, go to sleep with a dream and wake up with a purpose. And if opportunity does not come knocking, build yourself a damn door. Good night, everybody. Pleasant dreams. I'm Diana, your poet and your global ambassador.
And folks, it's very straightforward for me. Your circumstances determine who you are, but you are responsible for who you become. And we're gonna go out with this this motivational thing we've been playing here in the
But the speeches, the closing comments from the people here, you know.
Oh yeah. My bad. Let me see who here. Nadia says good night, Gary Mohabia, blessed night. Let me see. Nadia says blessed good night to everyone. Life is a miracle, and every breath we take is a gift of God, gift from God. Thank you, Nadia. Rajvi said we need some good Michigan police to deal with them in Trinidad. I need no police for it.
And thank you guests for coming. Who are your guests tonight?
Khadijah Ameen.
Okay. Thank you, Anna. Thank you, Miss Ameen, for joining us in the village.
Cliff Ramuta joined us tonight too. Kylie says cousin comment. I fed up, yes. I Kylie cousin comment. Capiz, I want to know if I have any friends in the Republican Party. I have plenty friends in the Republican Party, right? Plenty.
I have plenty family that is vote Republican.
Lana says, we can't solve all problems, but we can try. One person can make a big difference. Full 100. Rajvi says, good night, everyone. Be safe. We are all one people. Alice, a big cash jump up carnival going on right now in the streets of Port of Spain. Nobody cares about nothing. Albert Montano says, guys, we in the village are not stressed about Trinidad, but very concerned about where the country could go. Full 100. Hey, Ulrich vexed too bad, but Ulrich say, hello. Don't with the road with that cockroach. Go on. Ulrich vexed too bad, boy.
Ulrich vexed with PNM. You don't like Harry Griffin. Lord Father.
Everything else vexed. Capiz says, Alsam, you must be a PNM supporter. Shameless to being back in GG. Nah, wait. You want GG back, man. You want GG back. All right, folks. There we go.
Truer words were never spoken. The less you associate with some people, the more your life will improve. Anytime you tolerate mediocrity in others, it increases your mediocrity. An important attribute in successful people is their impatience with negative thinking and negative acting people. As you grow, your associates will change. Some of your friends will not want you to go on. They will want you to stay where they are. Friends that don't help you climb will want you to crawl. Your friends will stretch your vision or choke your dream. Those that don't increase you will eventually decrease you. Consider this. Never receive counsel from unproductive people. Never discuss your problems with someone incapable of contributing to the solution, because those who never succeed themselves are always first to tell you how.
Not everyone has a right to speak into your life. You are certain to get the worst of the bargain when you exchange ideas with the wrong person. Don't follow anyone who's not going anywhere. With some people you spend an evening. With others, you invest it. Be careful where you stop to inquire for directions along the road of life. Wise is the person who fortifies his life with the right friendships. If you run with wolves, you will learn how to howl. But if you associate with eagles, you will learn how to soar to great heights. A mirror reflects a man's face, but what he is really like is shown by the kind of friends he chooses. The simple but true fact of life is that you become like those with whom you closely associate, for the good and the bad. Note, be not mistaken. This is applicable to family as well as friends. Yes, do love, appreciate, and be thankful for your family, for they will always be your family, no matter what. Just know that they are human first, and though they are family to you, they may be a friend to someone else and will fit somewhere in the criteria above. In prosperity, our friends know us. In adversity, we know our friends. Never make someone a priority when you are only an option for them. If you are going to achieve excellence in big things, you develop the habit in little matters. Excellence is not an exception, it is a prevailing attitude.